No! 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 Hello, 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 and welcome yourselves today to a little episode of Seek Truth and Speak Truth. I hope you're enjoying your day wherever you are. Listen to this, Dell, on our lovely rotating oblate spheroid. We've got curve, buddy, and we rotate. Thank you, everybody that has come to the chat tonight. Mandevil, Yannick, Dr. Lord Stinky Butt the Butler, hello. Keith Newton, you did hear Dell. They broke STST, M from M16, Mandevil. That started pretty much right. No! No! I mean, what on earth is this guy talking about? No! Marcus Dresden, Craven More Dick, hello. Philip Petch, H. Jasper E, Jan Rautanen, Live Action Link, hello to you all. Charlie Welch, a special little mention for Charlie. I officially ordered a light phone stand and lav mic. Gonna start a channel finally when I figure out what I want to do. You inspired me when you said you only used a phone. Yep, I do. I'm sitting here on a phone right now. Everything I do is on a phone, even my history videos, everything. So you don't need the top setup. It's an advantage, definitely. But you know, I'm kind of proof that you don't need it all. So go for it, Charlie. I would suggest setting up your own channel. Just do it, buddy. That's what I'd say. I will more than happily have you on here as a guest. Maybe how we get started along the way. David Oliver, hello, mate. Live Action Link, Mandevil, what a legend. So, I mean, Dell, what's going on with him? He's obviously had a bit of a meltdown over my debate that I had with Effed Up World over me saying red herring. Whoop-de-doo, Dell, or any of the Dell followers. It's funny. I was actually in the chat earlier. Dell was live. I was in the chat for about an hour and I was just having a laugh. So I just thought, you know what? Let's go live and just have a laugh at actually how desperate Dell End is. One of the comments I left there, though, actually was, I think he genuinely believes the earth is flat. And that gains a slight respect point. I used to just label him like, no, he's a fake, like, say, Oakley and all the others. But I do believe Dell genuinely believes the earth is flat. But it doesn't make you right, though. Craven More Dick. Wait, is STST's name also Craig? No! Yeah, it is. Yeah. Me and FTFE share the same first name. So it just proves what a great name Craig is, actually. I think it's Scottish. Comes from wee bonny Scotland. Yeah, means like crag or rock. Remember when I was in school, I used to be like, yeah, I'm like the rock. Craig, Crag. But yeah, my name's Craig. But if you use the word wrong, obviously the earth is flat. Deadly Dave, you are so right. And that's what I kind of hate about these discussions, or, you know, obviously Dell, Oakley, or anything. They're too worried about like words, what an actual word means, rather than the fact that lays behind the word. And I just find that incredible. All the Fallacy. Ooh, fallacy, fallacy. Ooh. I had it earlier, you know, all these Deltards coming over to the comment section, obviously because he's done that video. Lovely, brilliant. Just laughed his way through it and didn't refute anything I said at all. My angle for that debate was the fact that there is no proof for a flat earth. Did he prove there was a flat earth? No. Just laughed, sat there laughing, saying profanities. Well done, Del. Well done. The mighty one, hello, mate. Good to see you. Good to see you all. I'm going to take that banner down. Please hit the like or dislike. But if you haven't, please do hit that like or dislike button. There will be an option where you can smash either one of them, and it does help Mr. Algorithm. Apparently so. Not that I'm too worried about that. Just come here and have a chat and a laugh with you guys, to be honest. But there's a link at the top. Not at the top here, at the top of the chat comment section, the chat box. You may have to come out and go back in. But if you would like to come on and have a laugh about Del, please do. If you are Del and you're watching, please do hit that StreamYard tab at the top and jump on. If you're one of Del's friends or Del disciples, please do hit that link at the top and do jump on. And please do jump on home. Thank you all for hitting that like or a dislike button. The mighty one, hello. Good to see you. Good to see you all. So what are we doing? Like, what have you guys got coming up? What's the funniest thing you've heard from a flat earther recently? I'm back. Now Ranty has come back to the globe. I'm fully fighting fit again. And I'm ready to pounce. So have you got any new channels for me to look into? Any new ridiculous shite that I need to be checking into? Please do let me know. 42 likes. Thank you all who have liked. My thing here for some reason just goes so behind that it shows me I've got 9. And I know you guys wouldn't do that to me. I just know it. "41 people. Live action link. Where are we? Have you talked to Ranty about turning to the globe yet? I have live action link, and it's probably about 4 or 5 videos back. But me, Ranty, and Conspiracy Cats streamed for, I don't know, about an hour and a half, and it was a brilliant chat. 2 ex-flat earthers and Cats, who was obviously monumental with my realization of what an idiot I'd been, and I think he was a bit of an influence on Ranty as well. So that was a really good chat, mate. And I think, yeah, anyone that hasn't should watch that back. Yeah, me, Ranty, and Cats together. On Del's channel, Flat Stanley was arguing with me for 2 days. It was hilarious. Brilliant. Flat Stanley. Oh, they get so uptight, don't they? You know, like literally repeating the same nonsense though over and over and over again. Like some of these comments, I was just thinking, is this actually a Dell sock account? Like really? I think he's probably got a lot of socks. But the Cat's Ranty STST stream has 3 perfect globe proofs on screen at all times. Yes, it does. Thank you very much, Man Devil. Thank you very much indeed. David Oliver, yeah, it was Flat Stanley. I have something having fun with him too. That's the thing, guys. You can go over there. It's a laugh a minute. I'm not being funny. It is a laugh a minute. And I don't bother about Dell, actually. Like, I wouldn't even make a video about him. But obviously, of course, because he picked up my debate on FTFE with F'd Up World, he done his little breakdown. No! I'm, of course, going to bring it up. But really, the funniest thing I think is I sat in his live chat for nearly an hour. I reckon I left at least 30 comments and he didn't mention me once. But I could see the moment when he saw that I was in the chat and he just started getting redder and redder and redder. That was just so funny, kind of just seeing it happen live. And I know everyone will go, oh, why don't you jump on and chat to him? Well, so he can mute me. And everyone knows what he's like or what he's going to be like. Dell reminds me of Ken Dodd's Diddy Men. Dell reminds me of a lot of things. A lot of things. Most of them I probably can't say live. No, only joking. But I don't know. I still have that element of me that feels sorry for him. If you know what I mean. Like, I laugh and I joke. But there is a part of me that just genuinely, if he is that lost, I just feel for him a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, because I was there. And if he actually thinks the earth is flat and he actually believes that he's got one up on people, poor him. Do you know what I mean? Like, poor guy. If he's that deluded. But yeah, that's all I can, you know, kind of think on that one, really. Just feel for the guy. Poor Dell. STST, I'm allowed. You can see my avatar. That's really me. CGI. That's what I call Man Devil. I call CGI on that. Obi-Wan Command Devil. Gary Wybenga, I like Dell. He's hilarious, especially when you get to understand his accent. He is hilarious. He absolutely is hilarious, Gary. You're right. If he was like a stand-up or an actual like comedy sketch, he is hilarious. Like when he did the pouring water onto the football, expecting the water to form around a football when there's another ball beneath it so much bigger that quite clearly is going to pull the water towards it to level out on. Yeah, Dell's hilarious, I'll give you that much. That's an oil painting filter version of me ever as a Chulu cultist for a game I worked on. Ooh, don't mention the word cult around here, Man Devil. Don't. We'll all get accused of being in a cult. The Chulu cult. That's probably going to go around soon, like Eric Jubay, like. So, we now know that it's the Chulu cult that are they. They have been controlling everything. They hid it up from you, the man sitting there on the internet. You happened to find me, didn't you? And I'm now going to indoctrinate you into a belief system that makes you believe that you are more intelligent than people that have studied their whole lives. I don't know why I just turned into Dr. Evil there. That was like a mixture of Eric Dubay and Dr. Evil. And I think that's a good mix, actually. I think they worked well together. Deadly Dave, my avatar is me too. I just never actually let my hair down. I get that, Dave, actually. definitely your avatar matches your who you are. I've seen proof. We've seen actual evidence, something that I've never seen for a flat Earth. Actual evidence. You got any, Gary? Nails077. Hey, how's it going? STST is going very well. Nails077. Thank you very much. Dell's given me a bit of promo over on his channel. So I've got a lot of, I've got a big jump in views over the last couple of days. Yeah, so, it just helps the algorithm. So I'm just really thanking Dell for sending his minions over and giving me a few extra 100 views, few extra 100 down likes. It all counts for algorithm. So yeah, I'm just here to say thanks really to Dell and the Beyond the Imaginary Curve guys and gals, shall we say. Yeah. My avatar is a camera, in case you haven't guessed. Are you actually a camera, the Mighty One, though? Are you literally a camera? Or can we have proof? Proof or it didn't happen? I popped over to Dell's channel the other day and saw he was going on about you. He sounded so out of it that I gave up. He seems to have invested his sense of self-worth in flat Earth. Yes, Yanigal, definitely. He attacks the person and not the argument because he doesn't have an argument to attack. And obviously, I'm just sitting here having a laugh at Dell because he's got nothing for me to break down. Like he has no evidence of a flat Earth for me to even look into and question. So that's why we just laugh at him pouring water on a ball, because he's got nothing else really. There's proof in there that this is me. Okay, man, devil. The force is with you. I'll say that much. No, I believe it. I do believe it. I need to look into what this Chulu is. Is that where the flat Earth map is kept? The cult of the Chulu. Dave's avatar actually looks like me in real life. You sound just like Jubei. Thank you, Craven. I'll take that as a compliment, even though who I'm impersonating is such a disgusting human being. Maybe Dell's been doing this as a gag this entire time. I hope so. Imagine that. I thought that when he done like a mini sitcom called On the Level, kind of went round making out he was some type of floor surveyor. But as that, was it Poe's law, where it's so difficult to separate like someone that's joking or doing satire from someone that actually does believe what they're saying, if you know what I mean. Dark Steve, hello. Good night, STST. Have a good stream, the Mighty One. I damn well will, because I am actually going to have to run off for a stream in a minute, a 2-minute stream. A wee is what I call it, or a Riley. So yeah, I'm going to run off in a second, so you guys will know where I am, and I will be coming back. Gary points at you, STST. We've got 52 people in the chat. If anyone would like to hit the link, you can come on for a chat with me, whether you are an STST subscriber, a Dell, like literally your name is Dell, and you run a channel called Beyond the Imaginary Curve, or you're a Dell disciple, which means you're in the cult of Dell and you follow and parrot every word he says. So anyone's welcome. And yes, I will be back in 2 minutes' time.
Who's my favorite ex-flat earther? It has to be seek truth, speak truth, speak truth, and sings his deconversion. He speaks the vintage and to youth. You can still see his old videos. That's that, and that is fine, and that is fine. But the titles have now changed a bit, and they have a warning sign, a warning sign. They have a warning sign, a warning sign. It's our rotating spirit that keeps him up to date. And can't we laugh at Bobby, who was a little bit? Will he pick up a 15-degree per hour drift? Who's my favorite ex-flat earther? It has to be ST. The exposed foolish mud sergeant Nathan Thompson of Natalie. Nathan Oakley fucking wanker, sleeping warrior Defoe. Very Dubé has not any proof. He's a racist and a Nazi. A racist and a Nazi. And Jerry Campbell, that's the fucking guy. And Alfie sounds unhealthy, a nasty shade of red. He has a silly habit of raging in a jet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who's my favorite ex-flat earther? It has to be ST. And he shouts to the Deltards that underground you have to be. Like his videos on his channel, let it be known once and for all. The world was never flat, my friends. It's spinning after all. Who's my favorite ex-flat earther? It has to be seek truth, speak truth, speak truth, and sings his deconversion. He speaks the vintage and to youth. You can still see his old videos. Yes, and that is fine, and that is fine. But the titles have now changed a bit, and they
Guess who's back? Back again. Tell a friend. ST's back, ST's back. That's enough of that. How are we doing, guys? You heard the flush, man, devil. That was it. I want to highlight actually what Chris said here. Where are we? Does this song say he's a racist and a Nazi? So the kind of song you heard there was by a guy called The Snark, and he does a lot of like really kind of funny, hilarious songs about people within the community, both flat Earth and debunkers, etc. And he's talking about Eric Dubay there, and I would agree with those words definitely. If you check out Eric Dubay's website, ifas.com, it is full of anti-Semitism, and yeah, he denies the Holocaust, etc. So yes, I'd jump on that bandwagon, basically. We do have obviously Gary Wybenga in the chat. Hello, mate. You're welcome to jump on. I don't want to talk about the ranty photo because that conversation is for him, and I have no idea about photographic evidence. But I would love to talk to you about my evidence or observations I've made about the moon, which I believe are impossible on a flat Earth. So, Gary, you're more than welcome to jump on and have a chat about something that I believe is impossible on a flat Earth. Gary the chat troll. But no, I mean, respect to Gary a little bit. I mean, you know, give him a little bit of respect. He tries hard. He keeps going. I just hope you really are looking for truth, buddy. Because if you were, you'd realise we live on a globe, mate. I knew it was written for you about you. That's why I was a bit confused. Yeah, that's literally why I wanted to cover. You know, that's why I wanted to mention that. Because at a quick ear glance, you may believe I'm being called a racist and a Nazi, which I am neither. All my videos are proofs. Gary, come on the stream now and let's look at one of your videos. Have you got one that isn't to do with optics? Because I can admit I don't know a lot about it. I can't really debate it, but I'd like to see if you've got any other videos. I'll quite happily have you come on, play them. We can discuss them. I'm here to learn myself, Gary. So if you want to come and help me learn, please do so. Yeah, respect Gary Wybenga. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's one of these things. Obviously, people get annoyed because Gary's big time in the chat. Not just my channel, but every channel. So he must have a lot of time on his hands. You know, but respect to him for fighting what he believes. And I don't know. What do you guys think? Does Gary really believe the Earth is flat? Give me a 1 if you think Gary really believes the Earth is flat, or give me a 2 if you think it's disingenuous, please. Good point here by Al K. Gary doesn't know about optics either. Don't give him ideas. That's a good point. It's kind of why I'm trying to not talk about that subject, because I don't know enough about it. But okay, very good point. Good to see you, mate, by the way. I know you're like an OG, what we say in this community. So it's good to see you back about, mate. I know you said you were thinking about maybe debunking again, but you know what comes with it. But we'd welcome you back with open arms, mate. Definitely. So what are we thinking on the... We've got 1, 2, 1, 1, 3. Barry on's probably right. Gary's a boss, so he can take time when he wants. Yeah, respect, LK, OG. Yeah, man, respect where respect's due, bro. We got to do it. We got to do it. 420. Dave got it right. Yeah. Yeah. Don't call him Gary, call him Wybenga. He doesn't deserve my name. Yanagal says it's attention seeking. How sad. It's pretty even, I'd say. Yeah, I think it evened out, maybe more for the 2. But 420 still won. That is what gets me. So again, this is what I believe or what I can't believe. But how can somebody that knows we live on a globe think to themselves, oh, I'm going to start lying to people and tell them the earth is flat and kind of try and make money out of it or get attention for myself. I think that is worse than believing the earth is flat and then maybe realizing it's not, but still carrying on the lie. If you know what I mean? Like, because you genuinely believed it. But like, for someone to just make that shit up and to turn around and go, do you know what? I'm going to start trying to make money out of this and lie to people. I find that horrible. I'm not accusing Gary Wybenga of doing that. Maybe in a little while, I'm just sitting out of by my pool with a cup of coffee anyhow. Pictures or it didn't happen. We need live video feed, Gary, of you sitting by your pool with a cup of coffee or it didn't happen. You can go live on your phone and give us a quick 180. I'd love to see that. Let's see where Gary lives. But yeah, no, when you're free, mate, jump on. I'm not going to be going all night, but you know, if you're free, jump on when you get the chance. You just described Eric Dubé. Some very sad people out there just looking for attention. Just look at chemo. Ah, ah. I'm sorry, sir. Yes, but sir. But sir. No, but sorry, sir. When he keeps saying that, I'm just like, dude. Chemo knows the Earth is a globe. Definitely. He has to. And some of these people I look at, I do think they're too intelligent to be a flat earther. I know this is probably going to sound horrible, but, or too knowledgeable, too well spoken to be a flat earther. People like Oakley or even Dubé, I know they drone on, I know they sound boring, but they also, to some people, sound compelling and riveting and intelligent. So I think those guys know what they're doing. They really do know what they're doing. It's not good. It's not good. Yeah, Spurs chemo. That's who we're talking about. No, don't want that live. Did you see what NT turned up on FTFE? Nathan Thompson. No. I don't have a garden. I did have strawberries, but they're gone. I have a plum tree, a loquat tree. Don't even know what that is. 2 sets of grapevines, nectarine tree, an orange tree, and 2 lemon trees, and a lime tree. Wow. Got a bit of an orchard going on there, buddy. Nice one. Jealous much? Nathan Thompson, 100% thick. Yeah, I think he actually believes it. I think Nathan is a genuine believer. I think he basically nearly probably thinks he's like the Jesus reborn. I wouldn't be surprised if he went through some like Kanye West thing and starts to claim that he is Jesus reborn or something, the messenger of flat earth. Dart, hello, mate. Good to see you. Always a stalwart in the community. Absolute stalwart. I don't think Nathan Thompson believes it. Just shock value for him, just like masks. Valid opinion. You might be right. I might be right. Yeah, that's just what I think. I think he genuinely believes it. But you can quite easily look at him and just think, he's a faker. He's doing it for the attention, which people do. People do. Hoaxley is definitely a scammer. I can vouch for Liley being just as full of shit in person. Have you actually met him in person, LK? Oh my God. Gary Wybenga, another claim. I suppose you did the maths to support his claim. I doubt that, Dave. I highly doubt that, mate. I know that you know. Chicken coop with 7 hens and a rooster. They all roam free during the day. They roost at night, but are never locked up. There's nothing better than a free cock. Fuck's sake. It's late. Put the women and children to bed. That's what I'm saying. That was a joke. Gary, how far away are you from possibly being able to jump on? If it's within the next 15, 20 minutes, please do let me know and I'll keep it going. But if not, we will round down within the next 15 to 20 minutes. But please do let me know, Gaza. Does anyone even know what that is? I don't. Iaquat, Laquat is the first fruit to ripen in the spring. Craven more dick. Great minds think alike, mate. Great minds think alike. Deadly Dave going straight in there. I don't believe I have. Oh, I thought it was I don't believe you have. Oh. Yeah. Maybe Gary Wybenga is the next Ranty. Let's accept Gary into the cult, guys. You know, this is how we gain new cult members, isn't it? Of course, is lure them in with friendliness, jokes. But Gary, mate, you're always welcome here. I'd love for you to realise the earth isn't flat. I know that you believe in God, but I also know you can definitely believe in a God and realise the earth is not flat. Those two do not have to be together. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, buddy. Charlie Welch, just to help support one of my favourites. Thank you so much, Charlie. You absolute legend. The plot hole. Yo! Good to see yo, dude. Always a pleasure. Everyone here, of course, will have heard of the plot hole. But for the one or two that may not have, please, please, after this stream at least, go and check that channel out. He really does do a good roundup of like the day to day, like what's going on, deep delves, comedy. Just go and check the guy out. That's all I'm gonna say. Mike 71, can Gary Weinbenger Weinbenger explain what will happen on Wednesday? Can you, Gary? Have you guessed what it is next, Gaza? About 6 eggs a day. I'm assuming that's a different conversation, guys. Yes. The plot hole, mate. There is a link at the top if you did fancy a quick jump on. I'm going off stream in about 15 minutes, unless Gary Wybenga wants to come on to discuss his flat earth proofs. But if he doesn't, I will be going offline. But there's a link there, buddy. Feel free to jump on and say a little hello. Flirspective. Everyone also must check out Ranty's new channel if you haven't. I'm sure you will have, but it's called Flirspective. He's got 2 videos on there. It's good to see someone else that understands and knows the flat earther mindset to be able to like rebut it in certain ways. And he really has done brilliantly with what he's done on that channel. It's funny and hilarious. Make sure you check out Flirtspective, the new ex-flat earther in town, and his name is Ranty. Remember, there's more ex-flat earthers than flat earthers realise, and that's what we've got to spread. It's not just the people that stay around. Most people run away with their tail between their legs, and I do not blame them because they've realised what a stupid idiot they've been. Don't blame them at all. But anyone that sticks around to tell people, yes, I've been an idiot, but please do not be an idiot like me, I have full respect for, just as much as an ex-flat earther. Follow the truth, that's all I'll say. Any real truth seeker, Gary, will realise we live on a globe. I thought the earth was flat until I was around 5. I think most of us are ex-flat earthers. True, that's true. But most of us never go back. It's that low level of understanding. And what made me laugh actually was the Deltards were coming over and they were saying to me, like, you say you went from a low level of understanding, you're now at an even lower level of understanding. Oh yeah. Prove it. So you got to say to these flat earthers, 2 words. Prove it. How does the link work? Just curious. Is it voice or what? I'm still learning. You can do voice or camera, Charlie. So you'd basically click the link, and before you went live, you would go into the guest room, and you would also actually at that time have a link to click just voice or camera. Just voice is fine. And then, yeah, you'd enter the studio. I would get a notification that you have. And then if I want you on, which of course I would then bring you into the studio. Whether that's now or next time, you are more than welcome, mate. Not coming just asking, LOL. No, that's fine, mate. It is nerve-wracking. It really is. It's only now that I'm getting confident with like live streaming like this, where there's no guest with me. When I first did it, I was terrified. I was like, oh my God, I need people. And there's a few hairy moments here and there when I'm kind of like, but it's your guys' interaction in the chat that actually makes this on your own simple, because I'm interacting with you guys. You're literally there right now. So that's how you just keep it running. But sometimes I kind of think, oh my God. So it's difficult, like, you know, it's not easy, but a lot of it relies on how good the chat is as well, which kind of makes the stream better. But Charlie, mate, you're welcome anytime. As are you all, to be honest. Like, some people, I've heard people say like, oh, you water your stream down too much because you'll just let anyone on. I'm just like, what? I'm just anyone. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I've literally heard people say that, where, or people have given that to me as advice. Like, you shouldn't like allow just anyone on. But I follow like the Mr. Sensible rule. Do you know what I mean? Like, literally everyone, just come on and have a chat if you want to. If you don't, stay in the chat and have a chat. Do you know what I mean? That's literally the way I think it should be. I'm no more special than anyone else. So everyone is welcome to come on. And I don't want people to feel like, oh my God, what do I say? Because of course, I'd just keep it going. It would be awkward for about 30 seconds. And then we'd find something that we'd got common ground on and go from there. But it's all relative. It's all what anyone wants to do. Charlie Welch, excellent, mate. The best streams are those that are meandering conversations with cool people. Yeah, definitely, Chris, mate. that's what I mean. You know, I've had Ranty and Cats on here, and subscribers. You know, there's literally no difference. We're all just people with YouTube channels. Some of us have content, some of us don't. Some of us have big channels, some of us don't. But that's what I love about this, like, kind of little community that we do have, is everyone's bloody equal. You know, we even have bloody Simon Dan in the chat here sometimes. Even say for Limey Play. Limey Play is a good little channel. And Simon Dan will pop up in his chat, and there's like 18 people watching it or something. I just think that's incredible. We have Gary. Are you there, mate?
Oh, yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
How are you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think you've got your stream on in the background.
Okay. I might. Let me see if I can shut it off a second.
Hello?
Okay.
Gary?
Is it off? It wasn't on. You know, I have a little bit of a breeze right now, so. Are you there?
It might just be, yeah, yes, mate. It might just be something at my end. I don't know. We'll give it a minute or two, see if it stops. So, sir, why do you think the Earth is flat?
A lot of reasons. They're all in my videos. The horizon is simply an optical limit. It's not a curve. It's just it's just a point on the surface where the angular size of the waves has become small in the distance, and the spaces between the waves is equally small, and the angle over the surface becomes too narrow to see the waves in the background as different from the foreground. So it'll end up being a line across your field of view. It's called, you can call it foreshortening. Some of you guys call it foreshortening. And
have you ever seen any of the sort of modeling of it, though, where what we
I
actually witness?
I have videos showing how it works. It's very obvious once you start to see it.
Well, we can screen share, so maybe play one.
And no, you could, if you want to play them. I don't know the names of all of my videos, and I don't feel like going into it right now. My wife's gonna be home in about 20 minutes, so.
Oh, okay, I'm on my phone.
But so if you ever want to go over them, I can do that. We'll have you play them. You guys can discuss it if you want. Tell me where I'm wrong, or where you think I'm wrong.
Well, like I say, I mean, optics to me, they can be so varied. They're so questionable. People can bring in perspective, this and that. That's why I do like to look at other proofs away from that. Do you ever think about other things, like maybe the way we observe the moon? How would you imagine that on a flat Earth?
I don't have any problem with the moon on a flat Earth. It cycles around just like the sun does. Spirals in and out. It does the same. It does the same motion of the sun in 29 to 30 days that the sun takes 365 days to do for its cycle.
But then why do we see why do we only ever see one side of the moon?
It would work either way on either one of ours. It shouldn't work on yours. You take binoculars. How much detail can you see? A lot, right? So why can't we see different details anywhere on the Earth? You can't explain it either. As much as we can see, it should do it. It should seem to do it for either one of our models. I don't know how to explain the moon, and neither do you. I know you like to say, why do we see it all? And you like to say it's too far, but the fact is, we can see all kinds of detail on the moon. So if there's different angles, why do we still see? We just see it from a different angle. That's all.
But we only ever see one side, though. Like you say, it's very detailed. You know, we can really map, like, kind of look at the moon. We know where the little craters are. There's like places named on it. But then when you travel around the globe, the actual what you see of the moon slowly rotates like 180 degrees as you travel south.
It rotates across my. it rotates across my sky, but then somebody in Australia who's watching it come in from where I'm at sees it the same way. Excuse me, sees it the same way it looked when I saw it rise.
Yeah, but it's 180 degrees flipped.
No, it's flipped for me. It's not flipped for them. If you took a picture of the moon in Australia when it rises, and you compared it to the moon from California where I'm at when it rises, it'll look the same. You're gonna see that you'll just except for you're seeing it from like the right side instead of the left side. Your angle to it, but the
No.
yes, the little face of the moon is on the top and it rotates down. So when it's getting towards my east or western sky, it's flipping around. But in Australia, where they're seeing it come up, it's looking the same way it looked when I first saw it come up.
No, well, I say no. I mean, I don't know. I would have to see like evidence either way.
No, you can
But
find pictures
for
all over the
me,
internet. Just
yeah, and when you
show a moon.
actually,
Take Google for a picture of a moonrise in Australia. Google a moonrise picture here in California, and the moonrise itself will look almost identical.
yeah. So, but you're still seeing the same side, whether it's 180 degrees or not.
Yeah, well, I don't know how to
And
explain
you're
that, but you
both
can't explain it on yours
either
either.
side of the. No, you can because it's so far away.
No,
Because it
no,
is
no,
going
no.
to.
It's not so far away that we can't see all kinds of detail. So that's not an excuse.
Well, no, it's like what 238,000 miles. So
Well,
yeah,
that's what you say,
we
but
can clearly
you
clearly
can
make
say whatever you want
details
about
of
how
it.
far that is, but the fact is, with a telescope or binoculars, you can see all kinds of
Mm.
detail. And if
Yeah,
it's you should be able to see a different side also in your model, just like you think we should be
no,
able
because
to on the flat Earth.
it's tidally locked, isn't it? The moon is tidally locked,
No,
so
it's not tidally
the
locked.
gravitational pull.
No, that's
Yeah,
tidally locked assumes it's actually rotating, and it's not. It's not rotating on an axis like the Earth is, or that you claim it is.
well, that's your claim. That's your claim that it isn't rotating, really, isn't it?
No, it isn't. Otherwise, you would see different parts.
No, because it
You
is
would say
tidally
you'd
locked.
end up
And you
seeing the
can look
backside. It can't perfectly rotate
at,
on an axis and always see the same part. That's not possible.
yeah, you could literally get a telescope and watch it with other moons of planets. It's actually it's rare if the moon isn't tidally locked. It's going to take millions and billions of years for these things to happen. But when we're looking at them, even other moons of planets are tidally locked. So
So in other
it
words,
happens.
you just said that you're never going to see it happen.
No, I said you can see it happen.
No,
You
you
can
said in
literally watch
millions
it
and
happen.
billions of years you might see it happen. So in other words, you're never going to see it happen. Whatever you're
No,
saying.
I said it takes that time to happen, to form. But you can look up and watch it now. Nearly
You
every
can
moon you will look at will be
you can
tidally
watch them
locked.
form. You
No, I'm
just
not
said
saying that. I'm saying that's how long it takes to form. But you can watch them now actually
okay.
being tidally locked with their planets.
No, you can't tell what they're doing. You don't have enough information.
You
That's
can.
no,
You
no.
can do.
I know you have little moons around Jupiter and stuff like that. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean anything. That doesn't
Do
disprove a
you
flat Earth. It
do you
doesn't. It
believe in
doesn't prove a
space?
ball, and it doesn't prove a flat Earth. Either one.
Do you believe in space, dude?
Well, I know it's big, but it's not like big like you guys think.
Okay.
There's something
Okay.
we fly around in,
Mm.
but they're not light
Yeah, I
years
mean,
away.
it's
Sorry.
nice to actually hear a flat Earth, or, well, level Earth or whatever, except that there is something that we're flying around in. I look at that as a start, to be honest.
That we're
Um,
flying around in,
yeah,
and
well,
how
it's
come?
better than a non-moving stationary plane in a
So,
firmament with
so
waters
if we're
above and
so if we're moving around all this like you claim, then how come the positions of the stars moving across the sky never vary? The stars follow the exact same path every 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 4.1 seconds.
because they're following the same path we are. They're in the
Oh, so it's
same,
so it's relative.
yeah. So they're in the
Oh
same,
my
like
gosh.
the stars that we can view are
Okay.
basically traveling with us.
Okay, so they're moving at 60. Well, no, they would have to move faster because according to you, they're much further away. So they would,
and
if we're moving 67,000 miles per hour around the sun, I mean, there should be some variance there, but they would have to move even faster because they're much further to go around the sun the same way we do. So that means they're traveling some crazy astronomical speed I can't even think of. Right?
Yeah, it is. It is astronomical. And
so you're saying the stars are flying around the sun just like we are?
Not the stars. No, the stars are their own suns. I'm saying that like the whole galaxy is flying in the same direction, like of our observable.
Well, if the galaxy contains stars and planets and whatever, so you're saying that whole thing is flying around the sun in order to be relative, to stay relative to our view.
Yeah. But they revolve because we are.
That sounds far crazier than any flat Earth. That's far crazier than any flat Earth model.
That's why people believe flat Earth, because it can sound crazy.
It is crazy. It's not even. It doesn't even sound crazy. It is crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. I'll admit that. What if people were lying? Why would they make up such crazy numbers? Why wouldn't they say like, "Oh, we're traveling around the sun at 100 miles an hour," just so us normal people could comprehend it and never question it?
Well, how many times have they changed? How many times have they changed the estimated speeds of all these orbits? Quite a few times, right?
Yep.
Yeah, because because it doesn't work out, and then they have to recreate a new math to try to make it work. So they're constantly recreating their just like in recent years they changed the distance to Polaris, and it used to be I think 434. Now it's 323 light years. So they've changed it by like 111 light years. Well, at 5.8 trillion miles per light year, you think we would see a difference? You know, it's like
we do. There are some stars that move. There's St. Bernard star St. Barnard star.
No.
In your lifetime, it would have moved like a moon, like the size of the moon in the sky. It would have moved that amount within your lifetime.
Have you seen this Bernard star?
Yep. I haven't personally watched it, but it's been well photographed and mentioned and documented. Along with other stars that are obviously a lot closer to us that we do witness.
And that reminds me. Have you ever looked at stars through binoculars where you first start just looking up at the stars, and then you take binoculars and you can see a lot more stars, right? Around them that you couldn't see with your eyes. Okay, that alone should change if we're flying through space, chasing the sun and orbiting the sun simultaneously. That we should see more stars, because even a simple pair of binoculars will let you see more stars. So you would think if we're going through all of this, we should see more stars that we couldn't see before. Right?
When I was a flat earther,
because you would be getting closer to them.
Sorry, dude. When I was a flat earther, I used to think our night sky should have less and less stars as time goes on, and I couldn't believe that, like, you know, the night sky should change every night. How are we still witnessing this same thing every single night? There's star signs. There's, you know, we know exactly when things are happening. This is like clockwork. But
bingo.
Bingo. Bingo. Ding, 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 ding.
Yep,
but
ding,
our
ding,
lifetime is but a millisecond compared to that star's lifetime and the time they're traveling. Literally, we are a blink of a blink of a blink of a blink of a second, and it is so hard for us to comprehend the speed, the magnitude that these things are moving at. We are tiny. We are so insignificant. You're probably going to not like that word. To what is actually going on, like the time scale, that we're like literally blink of an eye, we're gone. We would never really notice mass changes in the sky, but we do notice the minuscule ones. Like I said, St. Bernard star, there are ones that we can witness and watch one, watch the other, watch the other. What are they doing? And that's how these guys work out how far away the stars are.
Can I go back to my bingo?
I've just got a couple of super chats. Sorry, mate. I'll just read them out.
Okay.
Gary Wybenga. So why don't I see the moon upside down but Australia does. How is that the moon rotating? Sorry, I probably didn't read that properly. Oh, Gary Wybenga. So why don't I see the moon upside down, but Australia does? How is that the moon rotating?
If you film the moon crossing your sky, like let's say I filmed it rising, crossing the sky, and setting, and then somebody in Australia did the same thing. They filmed it rising, moving across the sky, and setting. They would look virtually identical.
But they'd be flipped, though. They would be flipped.
No. It would not be flipped. What you will see is the moon appears to rotate like a wheel, kind of across the sky, right? But now, when they view it now from where I'm at, they'll be seeing it in Australia, but it'll be looking like what it looked like when it first came up for me. Now they're going to see it they're going to look at it the same way I saw it, coming across their sky and rotating, or appearing to rotate. So it's going to see this. They're going to see the same thing. My moon, when I first watch it rise, it's going to appear to rotate about half a turn or a quarter turn. I haven't paid attention lately.
Which is you rotating.
No, it looks like a wagon wheel. That's the way it's moving.
Have you ever noticed, can you accept that the moon reflects sunlight?
I've never said that.
So you've never said the moon doesn't reflect sunlight?
I've never said it does, and I never said it doesn't. I haven't made up my mind. I personally think it reflects sunlight, but I have never said that. I've never stated it as a matter of fact.
Yes.
Well, it
Gary,
makes perfect sense, and it makes perfect sense on a flat Earth.
It doesn't.
Sure, it does.
Really doesn't.
Oh, absolutely, it does. It's like the sun and the moon are both spiraling around north, right? In my view, you got to pretend you're a flat earther right here to understand what I'm saying. So let's say
I'm an ex-flat earth, mate. I know.
No. I don't know if you know all the arguments. I don't know if you do. Okay, in my view, the sun takes 24 hours to come back to, a little bit more than 24 hours actually to come to solar noon, right? Slightly more.
What, noon till noon?
No, to solar noon. It's a little more than 24 hours, right?
Right.
Okay. So you have the moon taking about, I believe it's also traveling east to west, even though I know you guys think it's going west to east. And it's taking about an average of 24 hours and 50 minutes on an average. Sometimes it's a little longer, sometimes it's a little shorter, to make it one orbit around the flat circle Earth. So
or one Earth rotation.
Well, one orbit around. I'm calling it an orbit. I didn't say rotation. I said an orbit over the face of the flat Earth. You're going to look at it from my view. I'm explaining my view. So when we get the new moon, it's when they're right close by each other, right? So you don't see the moon for a couple days a lot of times. And then the sun it gradually moves because it's going a little bit faster than the moon. So now you'll get your first little glimmer of past the new moon, where we're going to start going towards the full moon, right? And so each day, the moon is following the sun, but falling a little bit farther behind. That's why at night, if you watch the moon go across the sky, let's say it comes up and it says it's 90% full, right? Which it's going to be something like that tonight. Maybe it's 92 or 93% full tonight for me. So, but by the end of the night, let's say it starts tonight rising at 93%. By the end of the night, it's about 94, a little bit more, maybe closer to 95 by the time it crosses my sky. So it's gradually, because the sun is gradually making that spiral and the moon is following that spiral. So the lit side is always going to be the part that's where the sun has lapped a little bit more. And so it's going to keep on increasing until it gets to the half, and then it keeps increasing. And the sun keeps moving a little bit further around that spiraled in the moon, so it shines a little bit more on the moon until you get your full moon, and then it starts cycling back.
But then, dude, can you then visualize that on a flat Earth? Imagine the flat Earth as a clock. So you've got someone at 6 o'clock looking at the moon, and then someone at 9 o'clock looking at the moon. They would both see different phases of the moon and different sides of the moon. Nobody ever sees a different side of the moon.
The phase, anybody who can see the moon at any time, let's say when the moon is sometimes, like right now, well, it's not up yet. I don't see it yet. Where it should be. Maybe I don't see it right at the moment. It should be up any time. I might just see.
There's actually an eclipse. I think Mandevil and a few people have brought this up.
Oh, the eclipse is not until the 26th.
But I mean, how could that ever be explained on a flat Earth, like an eclipse, where you admitted earlier yourself the moon reflects sunlight, so they are obviously in your eyes like either a polar opposite of each other.
I actually have an explanation for it, but I'm not ready to put it out yet because I'm going to make a video when I do it, and I haven't quite got the whole thing figured out, but I'm close. But what you guys can't explain without
eclipses.
What you guys can't explain? No, they don't at all. Because when you get a Selenelian eclipse, it screws you guys because it makes zero sense in your world. Unless, of course, you claim it's refracted up. It's not actually there, but it's somehow refracted up, which is a whole bunch of gobbledygook, and it doesn't make any sense.
The one way I could prove that, the one way I could prove the Selenian, though, is the fact that it only happens in one location, and that location is actually predicted on the globe model, where there's no explanation for a Selenian on a flat Earth.
No, you can't explain it. If it happens once, if it happens even once in your model, it screws your model. Your model failed.
It's still in the model.
Because according to you, the Earth is between the moon and the sun at that time, but yet you can see them both. It's not between them. It's not between them. Now, this is going to play a part when I eventually make a video on this because.
I mean, I literally do know the explanation to that.
No, I know you know the explanation, but your explanation has fallen short. It's not a good explanation.
Where's the evidence that explanation has fallen short?
Because you can see the sun and the moon during a Selenelian. The Earth is not between.
It's perfect.
So your model fails. If your reason is for a lunar eclipse,
it's predicted on that very location.
Well, just because you can predict things based on what observations. If I see the sun rise at the same point each day, I would be able to predict it rises at the same point each day, right? Just like I can predict right now, the sun will rise a little bit north each day until it reaches the solstice. Actually, it'll stop before it reaches the solstice, and it'll stay on the same spot, rising and setting for about 20 days. It won't move, which that doesn't work in your model either, because supposedly we're orbiting the sun. So maybe the Earth is stopping for a pit stop to refuel or something during those 20 days. And it does it at both solstices. It does it also at the winter solstice. The sun will rise and set at the same point for about 20 days each time. And then it reverses course. It starts spiraling back towards the other direction. Which the spiral is how you guys get your Earth in an elliptical orbit. That's how you compensate for it, by having the Earth in an elliptical orbit around the sun, when really it's the sun making an elliptical orbit over the face of the flat Earth in a circle around north.
The only trouble is, though, like, I know I'm not personally presenting evidence right now, but what I'm saying is backed up by actually reviewed observations in science. Like, there is no proof that the sun is small and local. There's you can look at the sun.
I didn't say local. I didn't say local.
Oh no, but you said it's like rotating above the flat Earth. So again, we should see other sides of the sun. Everyone on the Earth, whoever can look at the sun at one point on Earth, will all see the same face. But again, it will be rotated 360 degrees depending on where you are on Earth. But you will be able to take pictures of the sunspots on the sun, which again proves that it cannot be floating above a flat plane. It has to be.
Oh, absolutely, it can float above a flat plane. It just acts like the moon does. The moon rotates the thing, so does the sun. They both do the same stuff. They both spiral the same inward outward cycles from Capricorn to Cancer. They do exactly the same thing, only in a different time frame. It works perfect over a circle Earth. It will also, like I said, if they spiral in and out, it will. When it's going from Capricorn to Cancer, each day it will rise a little further north, set a little further north, and go across the sky at a little higher angle until it reaches the solstice, and then it'll turn and go back. And like I'm in the north, so I'm talking as if I'm from the north, and then it'll go from Cancer back to Capricorn, and it'll spiral outward a little farther each day, which means it will rise a little further south, set a little further south on the west, and lower a little bit. Your angle will be a little bit lower in the sky each day. So it all works on a spiraling sun and moon. And the fact that both of the sun and the moon will have a similar analemma means they're both doing the same thing.
No,
they're both moving the same direction,
observation.
same cycles.
But then when everyone can still see the same face of every side of the sun and moon, that then makes your observation null and obsolete.
No, it doesn't at all.
Could I just read out this super chat, buddy? Answer if you wish. What force causes the sun to rotate above the North Pole?
It doesn't go above the North Pole.
About the North Pole. Sorry, I misread that.
It goes around. Well, you're not going to like the answer. It's God. Remember you were talking about it's like a clock? Have you ever read Genesis chapter 1? That's exactly what the sun... Well, you should read Genesis chapter 1. You don't have to believe it. Just read it. You can just to see what it says. It says that the sun, moon, and stars, he set them in the firmament, within the firmament, under the dome, which I believe there's a dome. I know you don't know or believe it, but I do.
There's no proof of it.
He set them... Well, I think there is. So anyhow, but that's beside the point. But I want to finish my point that I was talking about. And he set them to be for signs, for seasons, for days in the years. So it was a clock calendar that God designed for man, and we use it to this day. We can see when the sun is moving north a little each day that we're going to get closer to spring and summer, and we can see when it reverses course that it's going to go towards winter and longer nights. It's predictable on a flat circle Earth, just like you think it is on your spinning pear. In fact, this is what I believe. That I believe there's a devil. I believe mathematicians have hijacked the math from a flat 360-degree circle Earth and converted it into a ball 360-degree Earth. And that's why your math, that's why you can predict sunsets and sunrises. You had to do what you had to do to compensate for the simple thing of a sun. Hold on, let me finish this thought, and then I'll let you. I don't want to be rude, but I have to finish the thought. So now I forgot what the thought was. Never mind.
Could I just ask this quick one from Man Devil? I think this is a great question. If God made the sky clock, why do we need leap years, etc., to make up for the inconsistencies?
Because you timed your thing on a solar day rather than the what do you call it, the sidereal day. If we had a day based on the sidereal, because according to your side, a sidereal day is the true rotation of the Earth if the Earth is rotating, right? 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 4.1 seconds, right? So if we had a clock based on that, the clocks would work out fine. But we base them on a solar day, which is not 24 hours. I mean, it's like from the sun to move from solar noon to solar noon, it's a little over 24 hours. So you have a time difference from what you call the rotation of the Earth to when it should be the sidereal time, not the solar time.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's
okay. If the stars take 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 4.1 seconds to get back to their position from the night before, right?
Honestly,
that would be, and if the Earth was rotating, that would be the time for the amount of time for the Earth to rotate in your model.
Do you not see how weak an argument that is, though, dude? Like when you know, we're not me myself, but I'm saying there is evidence, it is backed up, and then when the question came to you, just went God.
Well, because God created it. I know you don't believe it, but that's You're going to
I
find out
don't
one day,
disbelieve.
unfortunately.
I will not rule out a creator, but I certainly.
Well, how
Didn't
could you
happen
rule out a
before
creator?
13.
You look at the creation;
It did not
it's
happen
everywhere.
before 13.8
We got
billion years.
we got the big
And
sky clock right above us that points to a
I
creator.
don't believe, like, no man-made God exists. Like,
It's not a
nothing written
man-made
down
God.
by human.
There's no man-made
Well,
God. God
to
made
me, the
man.
Christian God is man-made.
Oh, well,
Man-made.
I will admit that the Christians have butchered the scriptures and butchered a lot of things. I'll agree with that. I have no problem with saying that.
PhD Tony, you're more than welcome to come
False
on, mate.
Christians.
There's a StreamYard link at the top. I do need a wee actually, mate, so you might be able to come on and take over. We actually have a guest sitting there, PhD Tony. Oh, and another, I didn't realise, another Gary sitting there. Gary Poinsett. I'm so sorry, mate. I'm just going to add you. And PhD Tony as well.
All right. How's it going?
Some of you may have your streams up loud.
Hey, by the way, I just want to say one thing. My wife is going to be home anytime, and when she comes home, then I quit. I'll stay on as long as she's not gone, or as long as she's not home yet.
Can you hear me?
PhD Tony, yes, I can.
Okay. Excellent. So, Gary, why is it that seismic waves can travel around the world in a way that is completely inconsistent with a disk?
Who said it was a disk?
Why is it that they travel multiple times around the world in a way that is completely consistent with a spheroid?
I don't think it is.
That what you think doesn't matter.
No,
what is observed is that seismic waves propagate from their point of origin around the world, and Rayleigh waves, a particular form of surface wave, travel around the world multiple times. This cannot be the case if the world is not spherical.
So you're into what is observed, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then how do you explain a selenalian eclipse when we observe the sun and the moon above and both viewable, and we're not in between them?
Why don't you just
That's
talk
observable.
over me?
That's
why don't you talk over me? Why don't
you're
you just
talking
talk
over me too.
Why don't you just talk over me?
I asked
Why don't
you a
just keep
question.
babbling?
No, guys,
and then you won't let
just
me answer.
PhD Tony, calm down and relax.
And then you won't let me answer.
Gary,
Take a chill pill
Gary,
here.
Then you won't let me
Nobody's
answer.
mad at you.
Let me answer the question. You ask a
guys,
question,
let me
and
just
then
step
you
in
won't let me answer.
Let me just second in for a millisecond, guys. Yeah, please try your best not to over talk each other. I know it's difficult online because these things just bloody happen. But Gary, let PhD put his point across, please, mate. And then if you want to refute it, please do. But please try not to over talk each other.
Okay, so it's a simple matter of somebody being on the edge of the Earth. There's an equator that is going to be equidistant from the sun and the moon, or not equidistant, but it's going to be able to see both the sun and the moon, provided you're on the edge of the disk. The atmospheric refraction of light from both the sun and the moon permits people that are on the edge of the disk to see both the sun and the moon during the progress of the selenihelion. And now I know you don't like that answer. I don't care. That is the answer. And as soon as you can, using flat Earth theory, predict when a lunar eclipse or a solar eclipse will occur, and when and what portions of the Earth are going to be impacted by solar eclipses, then you will have some credibility. But as it is, you can't do either, and our side of the argument can.
I can't do either right now. I guarantee you we will in the future. And as far as the selenalian eclipse, okay, you just interrupted me, and you just got mad at me thinking I was one. But if you go back and play it, it was you interrupting my answer that I was answering to you. Anyhow, the selenalian eclipse, yes, I've heard the explanation many times, and it still is lacking. It's you ever hear that phrase in the scriptures? It's been weighed in the balances and found lacking. Well, that's exactly. It's still lacking. It's not going to change by repeating it. It still doesn't work. If the sun and moon are both visible, we're not between them.
That you don't like an answer doesn't make it wrong. It makes you delusional.
No, actually, delusional is somebody who believes that the Earth is between them when you can see them both. That's delusional.
No, we can explain
Yes.
with it. We can explain.
No,
we
no.
can construct.
Thinking
We
in
can.
2 dimensions when you
can
said
construct-
Your explanation doesn't work. I'm sorry. You can repeat it 50 times. It doesn't matter. It still doesn't work.
We can draw
If you
you
can
a-
see both the sun, then the Earth is in between them.
Are you?
I know you're going to cry refraction. Oh, it's refracted up. That's the same excuse you give for why the sun it can't be tracked properly with a EQ mount.
So I noticed that you don't want to talk about seismic evidence, and you.
I don't know enough about it to argue with you about. I just know there will be an answer where it works on a flat circle Earth, no problem.
Then
And
as soon
this
as
flat circle Earth is not a disc. It's you did a straw man. It's deep and big.
Yes, in which
Gary.
case the seismic energy should never return to the point of origin, yet it does.
Well, how do you know? How do you know there's not something down there that reflects off and bounces back to you? It's deep. We don't know what it's all down there.
Hello.
You think there's a core, but you don't know. You haven't been there.
We do, and that is actually, as
No, you
PhD
don't.
Tony's describing, is with seismic waves. You listen to how fast these things travel back, how quickly they go through surfaces, and this is only like I've listened to about a minute of it, and I've already grasped that much.
And we have a deep Earth, according to
These
my
things
view.
can't happen on a flat Earth.
We have an Earth that's very deep, has a lot of depth. It's not a disc like he conveniently tried to straw man. And it could be hitting some layer down there and reflecting back, bouncing back.
Sure
it could.
can't.
Sure
it can't.
Gary.
Sure, it could.
Gary.
Gary.
Okay, I'm not going to argue about it because I don't know enough about it.
So
you think you've got an argument, but I can give you arguments for everything else under the sun.
Let me just say something before you carry on. If you can't do the maths, if you can't make the demonstration, if you don't have the observations, and you admit that you don't, right? You don't have any mathematical models for any of this stuff, but you're there just prattling away saying that no, you're wrong. Well,
maybe STS can give us mathematical proofs. Can I hear his mathematical proofs?
I haven't finished speaking.
I don't need maths to prove we live on a globe, dude.
Okay, well, thank you for saying that because I don't need math to prove a flat Earth either. Thank you.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. Okay, well, you just heard STST, the host here, just saying you don't need math to prove a globe, right?
Yeah.
Did you just hear him say that? But I can't say the same thing. I can make observations. I make observations all the time.
Okay, do you have any photographs of Earth?
You're unfortunately looking at them wrong.
Yeah, we have lots of photographs from Earth. I've flown in a plane before and taken pictures out the window. I got photographs of Earth.
But that's not a flat Earth.
It is flat. Oh, absolutely it is.
So
we've got photographs from the moon. We've got photographs. We've got observations from satellites.
Well, you think you've got photographs from the moon. And actually, I don't even have a problem if they went to the moon because it's not very high. It's close.
So
280,000 miles.
Well, that's what you think, but I don't believe that at all.
Hey, speaking of the moon, Gary, you said that the moon does the same cycle as the sun in 30 days, correct?
29, 30 days, yeah.
Okay, so wouldn't that mean we have one moonrise and one moonset per month?
No.
Well, yes, it would. We get 30
sunrises,
okay, 30 sunsets per month.
Because you think the sun moves from west to east and only travels about 12 degrees a day.
It doesn't matter if it takes.
Okay, no. In my model, I gave you my model. No, in my model, it would work perfectly fine.
If it takes 30 days to do one cycle, the same cycle as the sun, you would get 30 half. What is it? Yeah, you would get one moonrise and one moonset per month. That's it. If it took 30 days to do one cycle.
If you want to use if you're going to take your model and insert it into mine, which you can't do, because you think the moon goes from west to east and only moves 12 degrees a day and takes 29 days to go once around the Earth. I don't say that. That's your model. I'm not defending your model.
It moves 15 degrees per hour.
Well, that's
pretty.
The moon?
Yes.
The moon? It moves 15 degrees per hour.
Yes.
When it only moves, according to your model, 12 degrees in a day. And besides that, what's 15 degrees per hour? Is that sidereal time? Is that 15 degrees per hour?
15 degrees per hour. It moves the
No, it
same as the
isn't.
sun. Yes,
No.
it does.
No,
That's why
okay,
you
well,
get pretty much one
Yes,
moonrise
it
a
is.
day.
It's exactly.
So how does that
sidereal.
work when you got the sun at solar noon each
Can
day?
you-
Is that
can
more than
you-
24 hours? Is that so? How is that your 15
That's
degrees?
less than 24
That's a
hours.
straw man argument right
No,
there.
your solar
That's
time will be a
less
little
than
more than
20
24.
Yeah,
It'll be a little bit more than
that's a
24
straw
hours.
man argument.
No, it's
15
less
degrees
than-
per
Yes,
hour.
to reach the same high point. Yes.
No, it
So
isn't.
do me a favor.
Okay.
Draw
Well,
it
you can
out.
look at time and date, and it'll tell you the same thing I'm saying.
Draw your
Time and date.
model
That's
out
your model.
and put your moon up there and do it one cycle for 30 days and see what you get. You're going to get one moonrise and one moonset per month.
That's because you're trying to insert your model into mine, and you can't do that.
your
My
model.
model is my model. I'm not backing up your model. Your model is your model,
can I ask
not
a
mine.
question, Gary?
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah, and by the way, I
believe
got to
in-
finish the thing about the cycle there. The cycle is when it goes from new moon to full moon back to new moon. That's a cycle. And if you watch where it rises and sets, it moves clear from the south, clear to the north, back to the south.
So
all in 29 to 30 days.
Okay.
Gary,
It doesn't work.
Gary,
Yes, it
Try and
does.
compare that onto a flat Earth, though, Gary. Map that out on a flat Earth. Even
Well,
for 2 or
whoever the
3
other guy
days,
is,
you'll
he's
soon
wanting to
realise
insert
that it's
his
not
model
true.
into my model, and it doesn't work.
Gary,
My
Well,
model, it works.
test that out.
Over
Let's just have, sorry guys, let's have a bit of calm again. Could we maybe, I think PhD Tony would like to ask a comment, and then maybe just kind of go around in a circle, and once someone's finished, the next person then carry on, if you know what I mean.
Gary, do you?
All
right. Gary, do you
carry on, mate.
accept that mass attracts mass? This is a yes or no question.
No.
Okay, then why does gravimetric mineral surveying work?
I don't know anything about that, so I'm not answering your question.
So we use the various forces experienced by
I don't know anything about this subject, so I'm not going to. Why would I answer questions on something I don't even know? I have never looked at that. I have my other observations. That's all I need for now.
So yes, normally when you lack information on a subject, it's good to shut up and let somebody tell you about the subject so that you know more.
I'm not going to listen to you tell me about a subject because you will not give the truth.
Then this conversation is completely pointless. All you're doing is sticking your fingers in your ears and going la 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 la.
Then go bye bye. Then go bye bye. Nobody cares.
Okay. You're not willing to reason, Gary, are you? You're not willing to listen.
No. He's not reasonable.
I think like you're willing to talk to me because I am a bit low level of understanding.
Okay, he wants to talk about something I have not ever even looked at.
Tony has stepped in here. You've just overtalked him. No. Like
we both overtalked each other.
You can't back up. You can't refute what someone like him said.
I've never even given any argument for anything he said. I've never read about it or cared about it. I look more at perspective and how things work on a flat Earth. I don't give one crap about PhD's Tony's ideas. I really don't.
So that's your problem, though, isn't it?
But these have real world applications, right?
Okay, well, I have not studied them, so I'm not going to get into a debate about them right now.
Well,
I've told you how. This is the third time now I think I've told you that. So you want to keep going on and about a subject I'm not about to talk to you or answer a question because I don't know.
So then,
but if I study it, if I do study it in the future, I will find an answer for it because there are answers.
Why don't you shut up and listen?
So why don't we talk about something that you've already brought up?
Let's ask Gary to make a claim, and then we'll dispute it or debunk it.
Okay,
Gary,
go play my last video. We'll make a claim. My claim is I debunked Ranty, and that it was nothing but absolute everyday simple perspective.
Like I said to you, that's between you and Ranty, isn't it?
No. You just said it. You want me to make a claim. I'm making a claim. I made a claim right now.
So
was it peer reviewed? Was it backed up? Or is it just you?
Yeah, I've got the video.
Gary, are you one of the world experts in interpreting photographic images?
Do I have to be?
Yes.
Do I need a peer review?
Yes.
I can't make up my own mind and figure out what I'm looking at without somebody telling me what I'm looking at?
You can. It just has zero validity.
Oh, man. See, that's where you have a problem. You can't even think on your own. You have to think according to what they've told you, and that's how you stay on that trail regardless of how that trail is. So anyhow,
it's not they. That's
Seek
how
truth, speak
science
truth.
works.
Just wanted me to make a claim, and he wanted to debunk it. Now let's
Yeah.
go. I made
Gary,
a claim. I made a video debunking Ranty.
You didn't.
That's how peer review
Yes, I
works,
did.
though, isn't it, Gary?
You made a video. That's
You
about it.
made a video that you
Demonstrating
think
that
debunks,
it's simple,
that you
everyday
think,
perspective.
that you think debunks Ranty, but you're wrong.
No, tell me where I'm wrong. Have you watched
Well,
it?
you haven't even seen the video.
You just made a claim. Did you watch my video?
I watched Ranty's video, and I
No.
understood
Did you
his
watch
points.
my video? You just claimed it didn't debunk anything, but you haven't
Yep.
even watched it.
Yep.
Okay, well, there we go.
You know, I don't need
Wisdom from PhD Tony for everybody to see. He debunked my video without even watching it.
I didn't claim to debunk anything. I
You
didn't
just
claim
said
to
you-
debunk your
Oh,
video.
Did anyone
God.
else say your video debunked it?
I don't expect any of you guys to say that.
No,
Well,
did
would I-
anyone else, anyone other than you say that you
Oh,
debunked
yeah,
it?
plenty of people out there have liked my video
They liked it. That doesn't mean
Yes,
nothing.
but
and made good comments. Yes.
why did you
I
listen?
don't make my
Why?
videos for the flat earth people. I make them for debates, to use in debates, to show what I'm saying and how it's demonstrated. I demonstrate it with the videos.
Well, I will check it out tonight.
Okay,
Why
and then
do we listen
debunk
to
me.
you?
Hey, if you want to come, PhD Tony, if you want to come on here and debunk my last video,
I didn't debunk.
we'll talk about it. We'll talk about that, right?
Well, okay, but why? So
There's nothing
why
for you
is
to
it?
debunk.
Can I ask
Sure
a
there
question? So you make these claims, you make these assertions, you are unprepared to even discuss the various principles that you used, which I've seen
No,
them
I wasn't
applied to that
unprepared. The
image.
only thing I wasn't prepared for was your things, because I've never
Gary.
studied the subject.
So
I've muted you,
present
Gary,
the
I'm sorry.
present the mathematical argument that proves that it's perspective and not curvature.
I don't have to use math. Just like STSD here doesn't use math, doesn't know it. A lot of you other guys don't know
then
math.
present the
How about
argument.
Tommy Gronvold? He does all
So
his
then-
models and
so
then tells
then-
you he doesn't know math. Okay?
So
You have
then-
distances. You have to incorporate math to be
No,
able to market your claim.
no. I can show how simple. I showed in my video how simple perspective by simply. Oh, let me ask PhD Tony.
Perspective needs math too.
Can I ask you a question, PhD Tony?
You
About
just did.
Ranty's video. About Ranty's video.
Yes.
Okay. So in Ranty's video, if you were the observer that took the picture, you're standing there with the camera.
Mm-hmm.
What would happen to that picture? Okay, from that spot where you took the picture, you see the angle to the top of the mountain below the top of the tower, right?
Yep.
So now if that observer moved further away, let's say he moved a couple miles further away, but stayed at the same elevation, all he did was move further away from the mountain and the tower, what would that picture look like?
That picture would change depending on how far away you move.
And would the mountains then appear over the tower?
No.
Oh, absolutely it would.
No, they wouldn't.
You can even do this in an orthographic drawing and show how it would.
No, they wouldn't.
Absolutely would. Watch my video and I demonstrated it. That's why I asked, watch my video.
So your argument is, but it depends on the relative density. It depends on the relative difference in distance between the two.
The tower and the mountains would stay. They would stay the same distance away from each other.
Yes,
I'm just saying, take the observer and move the observer further away. What would that do with the angles?
Well, it would move you further around the curve. That's what it would do.
Well, that's in your model, and if it did, those mountains should drop even further, right?
Yes.
Okay, but they won't. That's why you got to watch my video, and then when you watch my video, I'll come on here and debate you with him.
But
We'll make a
did
show of
you
it.
actually do that? Did you go to the
make
same
that claim
spot
with
and move
zero-
further away?
I don't have to go to the same place. I'm obviously not going to fly over to England or wherever it's at
So you're
to take a
making
picture from the
claim-
same place and then just have you guys poo-poo it after all of that.
So it's
But
a
what I did was find a set of trees that in the distance were below the tops of the mountains where I live. I have the coastal range that's near me that are about 3,000 to 4,000 feet high. I found a set of trees on a road, and as they appeared from when I first started, I took a screenshot of my
And what
video.
was the relative distance? Sorry, what was the relative distance between the trees?
Those hills are about 35 miles probably from where that were lined up with me. 35 to 40, depending on which
What
mountains you're
distance
looking at.
between the trees?
Oh, I was when I first started. It was maybe 3 miles, but the trees aren't 300 feet tall either.
So you've made no effort whatsoever to make sure that it's in scale to the actual.
No, it
case
doesn't
being
matter because it's
discovered.
all about. It's not. It
It
has
does
nothing to do
matter.
with. No, it doesn't because it's just simple perspective. That's why if I actually move away from,
Even
like in
perspective has to do with scale.
In Ranty's video, if you would simply move further away, staying at the same elevation, those mountains or hills, they were only like 12 or what, 23, 2,400 feet high. Those would appear above the tower if you moved further away.
No, they
Which
wouldn't.
is which should yes they would, which is should
Well,
never happen.
so
Well, ask
the-
Ranty. Ask Ranty to go over there and go 2 miles further back and take a picture and let's see what it is. I bet he won't do it. He lives there.
So again, this is just unsubstantiated claims. This is you saying that
No,
something is true.
it's not.
Yes, it is.
No,
Yes, it
because
is.
I made a
It is
video showing how it works, and it works just like I said it would.
No.
But you don't know if it works if you
yes.
haven't done it or had someone
I did
do
it.
it.
No, I did an observation. I had the trees, and compared to the mountains in the background, the trees when I first started were
Gary?
under the mountains. As I got closer, the trees were over the tops of the
What
mountains.
do you do for a living, Gary?
It doesn't matter, does it?
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
You're claiming all sorts of expertise in fields of science.
I'm just a normal, everyday person who can make observations just like anybody else, who can also take a video to demonstrate what I said, and I did.
Can I just ask a question as like a maybe moderator, so called? Gary, like, do you believe then that the rest of the world is either lying or are they stupid? It's one of those two.
Actually, it's a third choice. You're deceived, just like we all were.
By who?
By a devil.
Really?
Yes, really. He turned everything upside down. Just look at the world today. Look at the world. Look how everything is backwards compared to what we grew up with. Now you can be whatever you want to be sexually, right? A boy can be a girl can be a boy. There's no right, there's no wrong, there's no up, there's no down. It's all
Christian, you can be a
good.
Muslim, you can be a Catholic. Always been that way.
Well, no, that's different than when it comes to sexuality and all that kind of stuff. It's completely
Really?
different. And
Is it?
whether you guys like it or not, you all know I'm right.
Is it really though?
No.
You don't get to choose.
Yes.
I know you're exceedingly wrong.
Well, I'm sorry. It is still.
Well,
it is
you're
different
going to
from
go with the
religion.
way of the world because the way of the world teaches that. That's the way of the fallen world. They go downhill. They're going the wrong direction.
I'm sorry. It is different from
We
religion.
abort babies
Religion,
willy-nilly like they're nothing.
religion, you're brainwashed into it. You know.
No.
It is different.
No, we literally kill our babies. We murder them in the womb.
Yeah, and we take them to church and tell them if they don't behave, they're going to go to hell.
But why? If the world is so evil, why is?
And so at least that would give them a choice.
Gary,
what choice do they have if
Gary.
you kill them in the womb and tear them apart limb from limb? Which is what you're doing.
Gary,
I never said
sorry,
I was
mate.
pro-abortion,
just-
but you know.
No, but I'm just saying this is the way of the world. The world in general believes in.
Gary, I'm muting you for a second, mate. Because you're starting to overtalk us when we're, there's a little bit of a dumpster fire going on. We're getting emotional. I love it. But let everyone else have a piece, if you know what I mean. I don't want to have to mute you. I'm about to unmute you. But if
Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to interrupt you. If you mute me
Gary.
again, I won't be on the other end of the phone when you unmute it. I'll be gone.
Don't-
Okay, I don't care.
don't
We all
mute
overtalk
them.
each other. These guys overtalk me just like I'm overtalking you right now. We all overtalk each other. That's part of bantering back and forth. And I think I plenty of times I've remained quiet. So if you mute me, if I see you mute me, and which you're right, you're the host. It's your show. But if you mute me, I won't be back on. It'll be another day. I'll just hang up.
Well, that'll be a shame. But you'll be
Oh
welcome
no,
back
it's a shame.
on.
I just set a condition, and if you don't like it, you can hang up or you can mute me. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
It's your show.
Same as me.
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you the condition for me to be here. That's all.
All right. So let's get back on track here. Earlier you
Same
said
move.
you don't think our moon rotates on our model, right?
No, it doesn't rotate on an axis. No.
But if you on our model, on the heliocentric model, you don't think it rotates.
No. It doesn't rotate on an axis.
If you walk around a table and you always face that table, are you rotating?
No.
Yes, you are.
No. If I take an apple, I got an apple tree sitting right next to me. If I take an apple, and I'm sitting at a little round circle table, a glass top circle table. If I take that apple and then I just move it around the edge of the thing, it's going to be the same face all the time, facing towards the center. And it didn't turn on an axis.
I'm sorry, I got.
Unless you want to call the Earth an axis in your model. If you want to call the Earth the axis, then we'll say, okay, it turned on an axis, but the Earth isn't the
In
axis of the
order
moon.
to always face something and move around it in a circular path, you have to rotate to accommodate for the revolution.
No, you don't have to rotate.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't. If I put this apple on the edge of my table and start going around the edge, follow the edge of my circle table here, it will always have the same face facing towards the center.
If you rotate it while you move it.
No, I don't have to rotate it. It's just gonna. You just set it, and you follow the edge, go around. The same face will always be facing the center. So if it was rotating, I would have to physically turn it in a circle. The apple, as I'm going around the table, I would have to be turning it in a little circle to give a rotation, but it doesn't do that. That's why it's not actually rotating at all.
Don't rotate the table.
When the moon is setting for me, and it looks like it's like a wagon wheel, that it's turned partly to the side, right? It's a side turn. It's not like a flip over turn. Okay, but the ones in Australia will see it as what it looked like when it first rose for me.
You physically hold the apple and move it around the table.
Sorry, guys. I'm just going to read out the super chat. Gary, I'm a Christian woman, pro-choice, trans women are women. Jesus loves all, no room for hate.
No, he loves them, but if they don't repent.
This is probably the view of, I would say, 99% of Christians is what Angel Gang was.
No. Well, most Christians aren't Christians. They're Christians in name only. They're pseudo-Christians. Pseudo-Christians, just like there's pseudo-science, which you guys follow.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
anyhow, I would like to go against either Deadly Dave or PhD Tony on debunking my video on your show if you ever want to do it.
So,
and I'll let you. And
Gary,
if we do it, I'll let you mute me without complaint.
Gary,
on that show.
Can I ask a question? How do you explain a lunar libration?
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, why don't you Google it, Gary?
Well, I might if I remember it later.
Lunar libration.
Are you interested in the truth? Are you actually interested in learning the truth? I think there's two types of flat earthers. Flat earthers that will never, ever, ever change their mind no matter what.
I've changed my mind numerous times.
Show them the globe and they'd still deny it.
I've changed my mind several times.
Is there any evidence I could present that would convince you that the Earth is a globe?
I doubt it.
Okay, so that's a religious conviction.
No. It's because I don't think you can actually. It has nothing to do with that. It's because I don't think you can find that evidence that would prove your globe.
I just presented several forms of evidence.
No, it's proof in your mind. Just like refraction.
Discuss it.
Just like refraction is your excuse for selenalian eclipses.
Have you noticed how strident you get as soon as your ignorance is exposed? You don't know what
lunar libration is. Do you know how strident you get when I expose?
You don't know. Yes, I normally get quite upset when people expose themselves around me, particularly Christians.
I believe you're exposing yourself, which is why you're getting angry. I'm not getting angry. It's you getting angry.
The trouble is, Gary is actually one of the most friendly flat earthers. Gary is one of the nicer ones.
Which makes it somewhat difficult that he's such a hateful piece of.
Real quick,
not hateful at all.
But I gotta go. Wife's coming in, so I'll catch y'all later.
Gary, mate, thanks for popping in, mate.
Yeah, take care, Gary.
Right,
Gary 2.
Gary Globe.
I'm Gary 1. I'm number 1.
You're Gary Nunn.
I'm number 1.
No, props for you to coming on at least, mate. I mean, you know, most of these flat earthers don't even have the balls to do that. So at least you do come on and stand your ground a bit. But I wish you really would stop thinking of, like, you know, when PhD said, what evidence could I show you? And I know you said it because you say, I don't think there is any, but you really looked at that defensively. And to me, that's not a
No,
science. That's not
that wasn't
truth
defensive at
seeking.
all. I
Yeah.
don't think there is any proof. I've looked at pretty much everything I can think of, and
Yes,
everything points to a flat circle Earth.
as soon as there are other forms of evidence presented to you, you just start shouting.
No, what I told you was I don't know anything enough about certain subjects, that, like whatever you mentioned earlier.
Yes,
I
but
don't
that
know enough
doesn't-
about to argue with you with, but you want to stay on the subject when
that-
I don't know anything about that subject.
So,
You know, if I ever get on that subject, which eventually I probably will, I'll figure it out, because you can figure out all these things.
so
It's like reverse engineering, going back to the original from the fake.
Can you finish talking? So you said not 2 minutes ago that you had looked at all of the evidence that you can think of. And then I come in and I bring in at least 3 things that you've never even heard of.
Oh, sure. There's always a couple things.
And it's not a couple of things. Do you know about magnetotelluric currents? Do you know about the rotation of the solar magnetic field relative to ours? Do you know about spectroscopic analysis of radioactive emissions from the sun? Do you know about neutrino fluxes, or that travel through the Earth and can be shown to come from under? There is just no. You can't actually. You keep on.
No, I'm in the cattle
going
industry. Can I ask you some questions about cattle to see if you would understand them or even comprehend them?
No, because there are relevant to the shape of the Earth.
Well, you've been studying this for how long? How many years? Okay,
Yes,
I haven't studied those things, but I can take simple observations that show the Earth is flat, that it's all optics, and that we can make the math work for a 360-degree flat Earth because it was robbed and applied as a circle, as a ball.
Can I just add this? You keep saying, like, we can do this, but nobody has.
We're still new at this. We don't have previous generations' knowledge.
Gary, I'm talking, please. And you said earlier, like, oh, it's all reverse engineered. From what? Where's the engineering?
I told you earlier, the flat circle Earth that was made by God. That's the part we live on. It's not a disk. It's deep. We live on the surface of this. So anyhow, and it's textured. It has lumps and bumps, mountains, hills, valleys, rivers, lakes, oceans. Okay, so they hijacked someone back in history, because back in history, all the ancient cultures believed in a flat Earth.
They also didn't believe in germ theory, so that's hardly a recommendation.
Well, I'm not so convinced of germ theory either. I
was going to say, I bet he's going to bloody refuse germs even exist.
No, I didn't. I don't deny that there's germs. I just don't think they're the problem. I think it's something else. So, but that's a whole other subject.
Why would
the math for the 360-degree flat Earth, which would also have a spiraling sun and that would work at 15 degrees per hour, and on the spiraling sun and moon, and they hijacked it and turned it into a ball 360-degree Earth. That's all.
Why do you consider yourself competent to have an opinion on germ theory, for instance?
Okay, we're not. I just said that's another subject. We're not talking about that.
No, but you said you don't think that that's true. Why do you consider that your opinion amounts to any more than a flea's fart?
I've grown up on a dairy farm. I've been around dairy all my life, and
dairy don't get ill?
Loaded with germs. And do I get sick? Nope.
Because
I've never even had the flu.
Yes.
I very seldom get a cold.
I'd suggest you get your neurological function tested, but just the very the very presumption that you made this fatuous comment earlier. You work on a cattle farm. Do I comment about cattle? Well, no, but you have no understanding about earth science, but you're presuming to absolutely discount earth science. You've got no understanding of astrophysics, but you're presuming to completely discredit the science of astrophysics with no understanding of what the observational evidence is that supports all of these, or the testing that it's undergone to get there. And so if I came on and I just said, you're completely crap at running your cattle farm, you'd tell me to piss off. But you apparently have the right to come into any field of science and just opine as though your opinion matters. It doesn't.
Have you ever heard that one theoretical scientist? I'm trying to think of his name right now. He looks like, I think he's Japanese. He's real popular, well known. I can't think of his name right now.
Well, I can, but I'm not going to give it to you. So.
Okay, well, what did he say about all your guys' ideas on all the cosmos and how far off you are?
I don't know. What did he say?
I can't remember exactly, but you know who I'm talking about, right?
I think the quote you're talking about was out of context. But anyway, it actually.
Oh no!
It actually, yes, it was, but it actually undermines your own position. It actually, yes, can. So, are you going to let me finish this sentence?
Sorry, PhD, mate. Just cutting in.
Sorry, I wasn't talking.
Sorry, I'm just going to cut in.
Yep.
Sorry, guys. I've got a super chat from Global Mum. Gary, man sees God and the concept of worship for what they want God to be. People have been what they are for millennia and have kept those not like them down.
That's exactly what's happening the opposite way right now. If I don't agree with the world on abortion, I'm considered a tyrant. If I don't agree with homosexuality, I'm a tyrant, right? But I'm not telling anybody what they have to or can't do. I know plenty of people who are homosexual, and I don't have a problem with them. They can live their life whatever they want. But I do feel like I should warn them because I do believe there's a judgment day coming.
I think it's probably more.
I would hate them if I hated them. I wouldn't warn them.
Gary, please, if I'm trying to speak, please. I know it's
go
hard,
ahead.
but
I already said go ahead.
Like, please don't cut me off.
Okay.
It's the way you talk about people though. Sometimes, if you know what I mean, it's easy to say like, "Oh, I've got gay friends," or it's the way you actually talk about the subject sometimes, which
what did I say?
Comes across as well. I'm not naming specifics, but there was certain occasions earlier where I saw people say like homophobic in the chat and things.
I'm not homophobic at all.
Yeah, I'm not
believe that you just believe that they're going to rot forever in hell and they're going to deserve it.
Yeah, no, I didn't say they're going to deserve it. We all deserve hell. We're all sinners. It's you don't have any idea what I believe, do you? You just assumed.
No,
let's say you believed in a God and that there was a judgment day coming. Wouldn't you want to warn people to flee from the judgment?
Okay, well,
would that be considered hatred or love?
Let me examine that for a moment. So you believe in a judgment, right? You believe that God is going to come and judge everybody.
Absolutely.
So we can assume then that this God is an ethical person, right? Whose judgment can be relied on. So how many people did God kill in the flood?
I would actually like to get into this one day. Not right now. This is a whole long subject, and we'll be going on for hours. But I wouldn't mind coming on and talking to you about all this stuff.
So when
it's a long subject.
When God says in the Old Testament,
I can tell you why He did the flood. I can give it to you quick.
When God says in the Old Testament that people should be stoned, that a woman who is raped without raising the alarm, say for instance she is under threat of her life and does not call for help, she should be stoned to death. Does that sound like an ethical thing?
I leave it up to God. He's the one who's ethical, not me.
If I see a virgin and I rape her, I can marry her if I give her father 50 shekels of silver. Is that ethical?
Did it say rape?
Yes.
Or is it? No, I don't believe it did. I think
yes. Lay hands on her and take her violently.
He slept with. No, it doesn't. I don't think it says that.
Yes, it does. Yes,
nope, I don't think so. Okay.
Well, then.
Well, anyhow, if you want to know about the flood, we'll go back to the question about the flood. I can tell you why the flood came.
The question is why should I accept that this dickhead is more ethical than I am?
If you don't want to accept, that's your business.
Well, he's demonstrably not.
You will believe one day.
He's demonstrably not ethical, and if he isn't. He kills people. He kills people for no goddamn reason. Actually, why is killing people bad?
No, murdering is bad.
Okay, but why?
Murdering is bad.
Why? Explain.
Because you're taking a life of an innocent if you murder it for no reason.
Don't they go to heaven?
No, not unless they were a believer. If a Christian gets murdered,
so it's okay to murder believers.
Well, no, it isn't. But they'll go to heaven if
everybody believed, it would be okay to murder one another. There would be no downside to it.
How do you get that out of anything? How do you even come up with that?
You believe in an eternal afterlife.
I believe that it's okay to go murder people because they'll go to heaven.
I am explaining.
You just literally made up a total straw man.
I am explaining.
And now you're burning it with gas.
I am explaining the logical absurdity of your position.
By giving a logical, illogical absurdity.
No, this is actually a very practical application. Are you familiar with the phrase? "Kill them all, God will know His own"?
No.
Okay, this was uttered by a French bishop before ordering the massacre.
Okay,
massacre of the people.
A bishop would be probably Catholic, and I'm not Catholic.
I don't care whether or not you're Catholic.
Okay, I do, and I don't care what your bishop said. How do you like that? A bishop is a human being, and he said something stupid.
Gary,
just like you guys say stupid stuff all the time.
Gary, can I just step in again? Would God want you, I know even obviously PhD, we all get a bit uptight and, gets a bit tense, but are you acting godlike? Do you know what I mean? Like not really allowing people to get a word in and finish this sentence, and
if you're going to say that one more time without saying the same thing to them because they interrupt me all the time. Yes, they do. Play back your show. I played back the one show where you said the same accusation against me, and it was almost always them interrupting me.
It's one rule
before I finished my thing. Before I finished, so
you probably look at it from this side, but honestly, mate, I am neutral. I could imagine, people in the chat, let me know if I'm actually quite a neutral kind of model.
Come on. See, that's like taking a vote amongst the wolves of if the sheep is wrong. Yeah. You guys, this is so stupid. Here, vote one in the chat if you think I'm right. Everybody here is on your side. What do you think they're going to vote? You guys are like wolves against the sheep. That's like a democracy, right? Two wolves and a sheep voting for what's for dinner.
Gary, come on, buddy. I'm only having a joke, and this is YouTube. It's entertainment, but we do want to have proper conversations. And I respect PhD Tony massively, and the fact that he asked to come on, I just think we should give each other the opportunity. I don't hear PhD jeering and laughing when you're talking to him. He may be trying to dispute what you say.
Did you hear me jeering?
Come on, whatever, man. Do you know what I mean? There is a difference between the way you're cutting each other off as well. So, and I'm seeing it from both sides, mate, but I just want a decent conversation.
But you'll only say it to me. Because PhD Tony is your friend.
Only because you were the one that actually made me say it. I would happily say it to PhD Tony if I thought he was being a dickhead, but I don't. And he knows I'd say that. I say my piece. I speak the bloody truth, dude. And
that's what you think.
I'm seeing it from this perspective. But didn't I say earlier, have respect for you? Because you do step up and you have come onto the channel. So thank you. But I actually want longevity. I want you to realise that flat Earth is nonsense.
It's not nonsense.
The more you spend time with us, the more you realise.
Spinning pear is nonsense.
Yeah, because
spinning pear flying at astronomical speeds and multi-directions is nonsense.
Yeah. Well, the first thing you got to realise, we don't live on a spinning pear.
Well, according to Neil deGrasse Tyson, you're one of your high priests.
The asymmetry.
It's a little wider at the middle and chubbier at the bottom.
Yes.
Like a pear.
Fractionally, but it's the Earth as a whole is
okay,
rounder. The Earth as a whole is more spherical than your average billiard ball.
So is it
your
wider
average
at the
pool ball?
Tony, is it wider at the bottom than it is at the equator? Because that's what he was saying. Well, that's what Neil deGrasse Tyson. He said it's wide in the middle and chubbier on the bottom, like a pear. That's what a pear shape is. It's a little bit wider than in the middle than it is at the top, but a little chubbier on the bottom. I buy pears all the time. I eat pears a lot.
Then you will be around. Then you will be aware that there are pears that are round, right?
Asian pear, which is a cross with an apple.
Yes. So
it's not a pear. It's a cross. It's not the same thing. I had an Asian pear tree.
So when an individual makes a metaphor to try and illustrate the general principle that they are trying to describe, it is a mistake to interpret that as a literal declaration of truth. And were you an intellectual, honest interlocutor, you would accept that the use of metaphors in English communication or in any language, in communication in any language, is actually valid.
Okay, then you explain to me what did he mean?
Guys. This is going to sound really random, but is one of you like clicking a pen or something?
Yes, that's me. Yep, that's
sorry,
me.
PhD, mate.
That's okay.
I wasn't going to bring it up, but it's been mentioned a few times in the chat, and people are going like, "Oh, that's like getting a little bit annoying," if you know what I mean. I hadn't noticed it, but yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Buddy.
Well, anyhow, so he said something about the metaphor and all that kind of stuff. So what did Neil deGrasse Tyson mean by it's a little chubbier on the bottom than it is in the middle?
No, what he meant was it's a little chubbier on the bottom than it is at the top, like a pear.
Yeah, like a pear. That's what I said. That's what I just said.
No, it isn't. You said it's a little chubbier at the bottom than it is in the middle, and that's a very different statement than it's chubbier on the bottom than it is on the top.
If it's oh man. Okay, so then you're saying our latitudes at the bottom should be longer than the top.
Slightly,
like
very, very fractionally. Maybe,
like how slightly, fractionally?
Maybe 1% larger.
Maybe is that a statement of fact, or you don't?
No, it's an.
You're just kind of guessing right now.
I'm reconstructing from what I know of the geometry of the Earth.
So it's pear-shaped. It's chubbier on the bottom than it is in the middle and the top.
So you were just claiming not to be jeering and laughing, right?
Yeah, I was laughing now.
Okay, but you've been doing it the whole time.
And you're being snide, so we'll give and take a little bit on that.
No, we won't.
Yeah, you're very pretentious.
I'm
the professor. I know more than you.
Larry, I think you got that wrong.
No, he's pretty pretentious.
I'm trying to give you as much rope as I can, but you're trying to hang yourself.
I'm not hanging myself. Ask him if he'll come. Ask him if he'll come on the show, and we'll go over my last video. We'll do it on your show. See if he can debunk what I said.
I've joined, guys. Sorry, guys.
You haven't debunked anything. You haven't even watched it.
Guys, sorry. We've got someone else about to join. Angel Gamer. So I'm about to add you to the stream. We are going to run for a maximum of another half an hour because I have to be up for work in 5 hours' time. So I'm sure you guys can appreciate why I'm going to have to end the stream at about 3 a.m. Sorry. Angel Gamer, I'm about to add you to the stream.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing okay. I was just listening to Gary there. He demanded measurements from Tony, but has not been providing any for himself, and I think he should be able to back up his claims too.
Good point.
Actually, Tony's the one who was demanding it from me, and I just reversed it back on him. That's all. He wants measurement. He's the one who says I have to have measurements for everything, but then he doesn't have them himself. So
Well, they
He was
can
guessing.
be
He was
providing
guessing.
them.
No, it's fine. It's guessing.
So
I just reversed it back. That's all.
can I? Okay, so would you like me to obtain because I can look up that data.
Yeah.
The difference between
You
me
can't
and you
expect
is that
someone
I
to
can
just
go
know
and get
something.
that.
Oh, I can too if I wanted to. I'm just not going to do it right now.
So you can go and get information on how the interlongitudinal distances
I'm
vary
sure
as a
if I
function
want to
of.
go find it, I'm sure I can.
Okay, so why don't you? And then explain how it's compatible
Well,
with
that
a
would be
flat
another
Earth.
show. I'm not going to do it right now. We're in the middle of talking.
Okay, so
all I got is my phone out here. I'm not going to.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
Do three different things.
It's interesting, isn't it, that every time there's a data set that will emphatically prove you wrong, you're uninterested in discussing it.
Oh no, that's only if you interpret the data set correctly and input the right data in the first place, which is your problem. That's how we got where we are, because you guys converted the 360-degree flat circle Earth into a 360-degree ball Earth.
Why does navigation work if that's wrong?
Because the math will still end up the same.
No, it
You
won't.
won't even know the difference. How many?
No, it won't.
That's like Bob the Science Guy
Gary,
and Blue Marble Science, who will both say, when you fly, because they both are pilots, when you fly, it's essentially like flying over a flat motionless plane. They don't know the difference. Blue actually said that. He doesn't know the difference.
On a local level, yeah. The
So
flat Earth is an approximation.
Gary,
when does it cease becoming level or local? When does it cease? Because as soon as you fly in off your local, you're in another local, right? Okay, you don't need to talk to me like that.
Let PhD Tony finish.
Yeah,
and then
I heard
you. Can stay
I heard
after.
you.
So the flat Earth approximation fails completely over 2 degrees over a distance. If the length scale involved is 2 degrees or more, the flat Earth approximation fails utterly.
Well, that's your estimation, but I don't believe that.
Well, then you're welcome to believe a delusion if you wish, but we can demonstrate it.
Okay, we'll demonstrate it in a future show.
I could demonstrate it in this show, except that you're just, you see, so when we come back for the next show, I'll be
around. I come in.
No,
I'm not scared.
When we come in for the next show, you are absolutely not going to have researched seismological theory.
No,
you are absolutely not. You are
when
absolutely
we come in
not,
on the next show, we're going to go, if STST agrees, we'll go over my latest video that debunks Ranty, and then you can try to debunk me live on the show as you watch the video.
So, Gary, you started talking in the middle of me talking, and then when I tried to say something, you raised your voice like I was the one being rude. Now, again, if you're claiming some sort of moral superiority over the rest of the world, which you are, perhaps try being less of a grotesque fuckwit.
Is that the best you got?
Tony, don't attack him. Just,
So,
Tony knows his model
you're not going to research seismology, even though you know that you should. You're not going to research Rayleigh waves, even though you know you should. You're not going to research the propagation of the sound waves from the Krakatoa explosion are doing multiple laps of the Earth, like you know you should.
They would do that under a dome also, wouldn't they?
No,
they would cycle around. Yes, they would.
No.
Sure they would.
So will you? Okay.
Can you let somebody finish their sentence, please, Gary?
He kept rattling on and on and on. Am I going to get a chance to talk, or is he going to go on for 10 minutes straight?
When somebody finishes a sentence, then you can talk.
If they stop, which I think he did, and then I jumped in.
Gary,
sorry, STSD.
As lead moderator, PhD Tony, how bloomin' dare you? I nearly spat my tea out, but no. None of that here, Squire.
Okay, sorry.
I'm joking. I'm kind of joking. It was funny. It was funny, but that was the lowest blow of the evening.
Okay, well, I kind of think that
Gary
you deserved
brought that
it
on,
at that point. But,
I called him out for it.
Yes. So let's return to this claim. You just made a claim that the sound wave would go out, it would bounce off the dome, and then it would come back. Now that would mean that the return period for the sound wave passing, reflecting off the dome and coming back, would be a function of proximity to the dome, right? Sites near the edge of the dome should see the sound wave go out and then reflect and come back, and also the amplitude of the pressure wave should be reversed by the impact on the dome. But that is not what is observed.
I'm not going to argue with you about any of this. I don't know any of it.
Okay, then you should go away and research.
I just offered a little thing out there that could be a possibility.
Wrong. It's
in your
wrong.
estimation, but
No, it's demonstrably wrong.
No, I don't think it is.
Well, you don't think at all, and that's your problem.
No, I do think, and that's why I'm willing to. I want to come back on here and let you try to debunk my video on this show. If you will do it.
I want to come on and debunk. Well, I've already done it.
No, I would have debunked.
You have already.
Because your big thing right now, the big thing on your guys' side is Ranty and his video, and I debunked it. I want to go. I'd rather talk to you about that.
No. The big thing.
Okay,
the big thing on our side.
Well, Deadly Dave was going to, but I don't think he wants to do it either. I think he realizes the mistake.
Well, I can do it. I mean,
no, you couldn't. Actually, you couldn't.
Gary,
watch my video and get back to me.
No one is afraid to debate you.
I didn't say that. I'm not afraid to debate you.
Yeah. So the thing that's on our side is the fact that Earth science works, right?
No, it doesn't. That's why you have a Selenelian eclipse. When we go back to that, where you don't have an explanation that's worth a crap.
So do mineral companies find minerals?
I don't care if they find minerals. They can do all kinds of different things to find minerals.
That means that the techniques that they use to find minerals are based on.
And their technique to find minerals doesn't mean the Earth is flat or round.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Can we just address? Sorry,
no,
guys,
you have a density that you're probably looking for. If I'm guessing, I'm just guessing at this. You have certain densities you're looking for, and you're bouncing off it, and it'll tell you what's down there, supposedly. That can work on a flat Earth with depth, just like it can on a ball.
Sorry, buddy. We just need to address the fact that you said Deadly Dave was scared to debate you, but he literally, within seconds, is here right now.
Okay, play my video. We'll go over it. You have time. I'm ready.
Let's do it.
You have to play my video, and we got to go over it as it goes.
Then, share your screen, and we can play it.
Oh, that's right. I got to do it. 2 seconds.
Oh, sorry, Deadly, mate. Oh, yeah, because Gary can't play it. But
just before we move on, we use seismology. Seismology is the most commonly used technique for locating underground mineral deposits. And seismology tells us, again, that the Earth cannot be anything other than a spheroid.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
You're just bouncing, looking for different densities, because different minerals have different densities. That's all you're doing. That works on a flat Earth. That works on a deep flat Earth just the same as it works on a spinning pair.
No, it doesn't. Again, you're just.
Okay, we'll go over that another day when I look more into it. I'm not going to argue with you about something I don't know enough about.
No, Gary. Okay.
Listen, we're going to play Deadly Dave, and Deadly Dave's going to go over my video. I'm pretty much done with you.
I need to make a point here. So
you made the point.
So you admit that you don't know anything about this subject, but then you just say, no, that isn't true.
I'm just saying you can bounce waves and find different densities on a flat Earth, just like you can around Earth.
Gary, if you don't know something about a subject, if you don't know something about a subject, you say, I don't know anything about that, and then you shut up. You don't
and I said that. I took one little guess, which I said was a guess. Play it back. I said it was a guess. I'm just guessing it's something to do with that. That's what I said. That's why I said I didn't want to go over this subject with you right now, because I don't know enough about it. I'm not going to argue with you, but you want to be an ass.
You are demonstrating an anti-scientific viewpoint.
No, I'm not at all. Hey, Tony. Tony, why don't you stay on and go over my video, and you can help Deadly
because
Dave.
I'm actually more prepared to the point I want to make is the
Well, you're so
difference
smart. You
between
should be able to
science.
instantly debunk my video.
I have already debunked your video. You made
You
no
haven't
effort
even
to
watched it.
assume-
You said
you described it, and you
oh, I
said
didn't. No, you got to watch
yes,
the
you did.
video. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Tony, Gary,
That's being ridiculous.
Let's wait.
So-
Let's wait then, Gary.
We'll do it another show.
Sorry, guys.
Just wait.
Deadly Dave. Are you there? Sorry, mate.
I think so. Yeah. Can you see the screen? Is that there on your share?
Let's have a look. Oh, yes, buddy. So
Right. So Gary,
Okay, there it is.
where do you debunk Ranty's video?
I showed you that it's just a simple perspective video that you simply.
Don't tell me about what you did in the past. We're here right now.
Okay, I'm explaining it to you, so shut up and listen a second.
Don't tell me shut up.
Okay, well, be quiet, please.
Don't tell me be quiet.
Don't interrupt, please. You asked me a question, I started to answer it, and you interrupted. Okay, so I'm not the only one who does it, evidently. You want to re-ask your question?
Where in this
Gary,
video
stop being silly.
you debunk Ranty's video?
You got to play the video, so we go over it. It'll show
Where?
you. All through the video. The whole video is about it.
It can't all be a debunk. That's not how stuff works. Where?
Okay, well, that's what you just said, but it's not true because the whole video is about the
I don't
debunk.
care if you think it's true or not.
Okay, is that all you got? Is that the best you can do?
Where in the video do you debunk it? We're here to see
When
it now.
When I show me driving towards the trees and then what happens in the background.
Where is that?
Didn't you watch the video?
Do you have a timestamp?
Or did you? No, I don't have the timestamps. I wasn't planning on doing this tonight. He knows where it is if he claimed he watched it.
Well, I have done, and I've debunked you on it several times
No,
in the
you
comments
didn't
over the week,
debunk
which is
me.
why I came on
You
the
didn't
minute you
debunk
said I
me.
wasn't prepared to do it. Yes, I did.
Calm down.
You keep
Calm
making
down.
claims.
Calm
You keep
down.
making claims.
Guys,
You keep
relax.
making claims.
both of you. Sorry, guys.
Let your hair down.
Like,
Relax.
can I
Let your hair
sort of maybe ask Deadly Dave's question again or in another way? But is there a sort of certain point in this video which is your
You have
definitive
to get the context. You have to watch the whole video, and otherwise it's out of context.
How long is the video?
It's 9 minutes, or approximately around there.
Craig, I've watched the whole video. It doesn't give any context to anything. You
Sure
don't
it does.
need context either. Explain where it is in this video that you debunk Ranty's video.
I just told you it's in the part
You didn't.
where
You just said it's in the whole video.
Okay,
That's not
are you going to
okay.
interrupt, or are you going to let me answer the damn
Yes, just like you
question?
did to me.
I didn't interrupt you.
Gary, you've been
Lies.
telling people not to interrupt you, but you've been interrupting people the whole time.
He just interrupted me, and nobody said a word to him, but now you're telling me to stop interrupting.
Okay.
Nobody said a word to Deadly Dave here.
You
Gary, mate, I'm
literally interrupted
trying to
him.
hold
No, Deadly
Yeah,
Dave
we're
just
trying to hold
interrupted
him.
me.
a decent conversation. Yeah, because Dave's fired up as well. I can understand. Like, yeah, we interrupt people a little bit. I get it, but it's the persistent interrupting. That's what then triggers me, or triggers the moderator to think, "Oh, this is getting a bit much now." Of course, I'll let a little bit of interrupting go on because that's how you get a good discussion going. But like when it becomes over the top and all the time, that's when it becomes too much, dude, if you know what I mean. And that's where you're getting. Yes, other people are doing it, but nowhere near as much.
As soon as I started answering his question, he interrupted. And he's
Yeah,
done
I'm
it
not
twice.
denying.
He's done it twice. He's done it twice. I barely got a word out of my mouth, and he already was interrupting.
You're now interrupting me, dude. Like, you're doing it again. I'm trying to explain that you're interrupting. You're interrupting
You had
me,
finished.
explaining
You had paused and stopped, and I jumped in.
Dude,
that's how it
come
works.
on, man. No, like, it works how interrupt.
No, it works.
a
I know
little
it's
bit,
your
of
rules,
course.
and you're biased. Okay, we know.
I'm not
Gary,
biased.
this isn't a formal debate here. This is people just coming on a stream.
We're just having a chat, man. Like, there's no timers. Like, but 9 minutes is a long time to commit for like 5 people and 70 people in the chat to sit through a video that you're presenting. That's what we're kind of trying to allude to. So, like, is there like a 1 minute, 30-second, like, definitive, like, this is where I get him. This is what you guys need to debunk. Like, surely there's a
I already
moment in
told
that
you
video.
I don't have a timestamp. I I wasn't prepared. It's the video. It's the video. The whole video at the end, where you see me driving, and you see the screenshot from where I first started, a screenshot from where I ended, and the position of the trees according to the mountains in the background in relation to them.
Is there a moment in the video where you're like,
I don't have a timestamp.
Harry,
I've already told you.
I'm not asking for a timestamp. I'm saying, is there a minute in the video where you're just like, aha, Ranty, debunked, take that?
Yeah, that's why I made the video. I already knew I could. I didn't even have to try.
What part of the video
will
make us feel that way?
Yeah,
I don't have a timestamp, which this is like the 5th time I've told you. I don't have a timestamp. Play the video.
Deadly Dave.
Okay.
Deadly Dave has the right thing up on the screen.
Is this it? I mean,
yeah, that'd be
okay.
it.
Yeah,
That'd
that's where I ended.
Okay,
Wait. I'm trying to think where this is at. This is where I first started, I think. And then you'll see this is a screenshot where I first started.
Play it from here.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't even hear it. So somebody's still clicking their pen.
You know, I do things too like that because I have ADHD and it helps me listen. So it might be the same for Tony. I don't know.
Or he's nervous. Or he's nervous.
We've got a mute Tony movement happening. I know it must be hard, Tony, mate. I'm the same. Like I have to be fiddling with something. Well, I shouldn't have said that live, but yeah. No, I'm with you, dude. But maybe mine doesn't make the noise yours does. Oh, classic.
That's why I took up crocheting.
Yeah, yeah, like something to just kind of do.
Can we just look at this for 1 second? So
yeah, let's watch
Gary,
something. Let's break it down.
Like we just had it playing there in the background. I know you said you can't hear it, but you're just talking there. You're not showing anything, so you can always just tell us what we're seeing, seeing as you're here. So,
towards the end, this is where I first started.
Sure.
See those? Okay. See the tractor. See those trees to the left of the tractor behind it.
So
There's two. There's a telephone pole. Looks like, and there's two trees. I don't know if that's a telephone pole, but I don't know what it is.
This one here is it?
I can't see what you're doing.
Can you see?
I'm just talking about those two trees that are taller than the rest.
Okay.
They stick up there to the left side of the tractor. Those are what we're going to focus on.
All right. So just play it from here.
This is the start. They're below the mountain. The hills in the background are higher than the trees, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just so obvious, dude. I can see this now. What you're going to try and do?
Well, because it's what it is. It's perspective. It is obvious.
Such a small and local scale.
Well, watch what. Play the video when I drive forward.
It is playing.
Okay. Now, what I did when I was driving, or after I filmed it, I widened the thing and I tried to keep it centered so you could see it.
Okay, so how far are we from the trees?
I don't know, 3 or 4 miles.
Oh, you don't know how far we are? Okay.
No, I didn't measure them.
How high are the mountains in the background?
The ones in the background are between 3,000 and 4,000.
That's quite a range. That's a 25% range.
That's a coastal range. Because they vary. You'll see. You're going to see that they vary when in the background. You'll see it.
Yeah, but we need to know what heights we're looking at here. So what height are these?
Okay, I told you they're between 3,000 and 4,000. I don't know. I didn't measure the mountains.
You didn't measure them. Okay.
Okay. Well, you're going to see at the end that the trees are going to be they're going to be higher than the higher hills in the background, which shouldn't be.
Okay. What height are the trees?
I don't know. Probably 100 feet.
Okay. So what measurements do we have here at all? I mean, we have nothing. You've got a video of some stuff happening.
This is perspective. I'm showing you how by moving farther away, a mountain will appear higher than something that's higher than you between them. That's what I'm demonstrating. It's simple perspective. It's the thing you're avoiding at all costs.
No, it's not.
You can't just say a word. You can't just say the word perspective and
It is
expect people to
perspective.
believe
What
it.
do you think the picture was that Ranty took?
It's
Was that
not.
perspective? All pictures are perspective. Anywhere
They have
your eye
perspective
looks
in
is
them.
perspective.
Gary,
It's
what
always
direction does
perspective.
perspective work in?
It's location.
It works in
It's like
it works in
the
it works in
location
any
that photo
direction
is
from the
taken.
position of your eyes.
Any direction or
Gary.
all directions?
From the position of your eyes. If you're
Yeah.
facing
Any
forward,
direction or all directions?
you're going to see perspective because all you can see is forward at any one time. You're
Any
going to see your
direction or all
perspective.
directions?
You can only see one direction at a time.
Yeah, but
You know,
which
you don't
way
have
is
that big of a
perspective
field
going
of
to make
view.
things? Which way is perspective going to make things go? Downwards, upwards, left, or right, or all of them, or none of them?
Well, you're going to see as I drive
No.
closer.
I'm asking you. You're telling me that you know what perspective is.
Yes.
Okay, so which way is it
I
going
was
to make
answering.
it go?
I was answering the question and you interrupted.
Not true.
Yes. Okay. Let me
Nope.
finish. I'll keep going. The same thing I was saying when you interrupted me. As you see me drive forward in the video, getting closer to the trees will appear higher than the mountains when I'm finished.
Okay, that's not an answer to my question, so I'll ask it again.
That's a perspective. That's perspective.
Which way will perspective
I'm making
make
a prediction.
things go?
I made a
Downwards,
prediction.
upwards,
Let's
left, or
just-
right?
I made a
Guys,
prediction.
Let's just we've got about 12 minutes left of the stream, so should we just carry on the video, and then we'll have a quick discussion at the end.
Sure.
If that's cool. Cool.
Now you'll notice that the hills behind it right now are actually the shorter hills, but by the time I get down to where I'm at, it'll be more in line with the higher hills, which is actually in your favor, but it's still going to work for me.
The pathetic element of this is that you think you're doing something with any sort of scientific validity whatsoever.
It's an observation. Relax.
Can I
Relax.
just
Keep
point-
playing it. Relax.
Yeah,
Keep
no.
playing.
I want to pause here for a moment. I want to say something. You know now that the mountains in the background are no longer the same mountains in the background because
I
of
just
the
said,
direction.
didn't I? I already said that. I said
Okay,
that it's
so
because
I'm not sure
driving.
what you
I'm
think you're
driving
about to
also
show.
parallel and getting closer. I don't have a direct road straight to these trees. I can find another one somewhere where I'll have trees directly in my straight line. It'll do the same
Measure it
thing.
this time.
No, I'm not going to measure everything out.
Well, then,
I'm showing
we're
you
not
that.
going to take.
Okay, play the video. Already, you can see those trees are higher than those hills,
But
right?
they're different hills.
Okay, well, it's going to get worse for you as you play the video because
How
those are
can
higher
it? They're
hills.
already different hills.
See the higher hills on the left? Those trees
What
are
about
going to be above those hills when I finish get to the end of my drive. Those are
The
higher hills. That's in your favor.
So
That's
the bigger
because you're
trees are going
closer
to be,
to the trees.
and the
Yes.
bigger mountains are going to be taller. And you think that's
No.
somehow a shock? What are you talking about?
No, the trees will appear higher than the hills. Keep playing the video.
Because you're closer to them than you are to the
Yes,
hills.
yes.
Let-
Thank you. We're
let's
getting
try and
somewhere.
get to the end of the
Remember what you
video,
just said
guys.
there, because that will come
Yeah.
back.
Okay,
So,
let's do that.
My elevation.
Gary-
This is all flat farmland. My elevation is
Gary-
the same all the time.
Gary, you've completely misunderstood the significance of the photograph that Ranchi was looking
Oh no,
at.
I don't.
Yes,
Oh
Yes,
no,
you do.
no, I don't.
Yes, you do.
So,
No, I
Gary, you asserting something emphatically doesn't make you right, mate.
And it doesn't make me wrong.
No, the fact that you're wrong makes you wrong.
No, I'm not wrong.
So the question,
Are we about to see the thing?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it. That's it right there.
Okay, I'm higher than those hills in the background, aren't I? The trees
These
are
are
higher,
completely
right?
different hills. You couldn't even see these in the first
Yeah.
picture.
No, you could at the beginning. They were
No,
the.
you couldn't.
Yes, I pointed it out when you first started. I said the big hills on the left will be the ones in the background
Can I say something?
because I'm driving parallel to the road to where those are at. I don't have a road to go by those trees, but I'm closer to the trees
How are you nearly as high as the mountains?
because those you could see those hills in the background when we first started were higher than the ones that were behind.
Can I say something? So, Gary, do you believe that trigonometry works? Is trigonometry a real thing?
Yes.
Okay, so
Okay, but I have
In
more
order
to that
to work
statement.
out-
That's
in
not my
order-
whole statement because I have more to it. You're going to use straight up trigonometry, right? It's just.
What other kind of trigonometry is
But
there?
you couldn't measure these mountains in the background from where I'm at, or could you measure the trees unless you know the distance to them, right? You have to know some distance on the bottom there, right?
And the fact that you don't know any of those distances,
which means you can't measure them unless you know something, right? You already have to know something and then you're going to account for what you call drop, that you think they shouldn't be that low.
Gary, you were there. Just measure them.
Gary,
they're 35. They're 35 miles away. I'm not going over there. I have to get the precise.
Okay.
You keep on
saw that the
interrupting.
hills that it's behind that are behind it right now. The trees are higher than the hills. The hills that it's in the background are higher than the original hills, which is worse for you.
You keep on interrupting me, Gary. You just admitted that you needed to know the distances between the various
you need to for
objects in the photo.
trigonometry. You can't measure without it.
Can we just point out C. Brown's comment here? Gary, this is a fail. The crops are even closer and are not higher than the trees.
The tree, no, because what an idiot that was. Because the obstacle that's between, the observer and the mountains in the background has to be higher than the observer. Like Ranty's tower, Black Bull Tower, was higher than the person who took the picture, right? So he just made a total stupid remark.
So Gary,
I hope he gave you money for it at least.
So Gary, calm down.
I'm calm.
Because you are. No, you're not. You're raising your voice and you're talking very quickly. You're deeply agitated.
But I haven't used the F word, have I?
You should probably check your blood pressure, Gary.
My blood pressure's fine.
So Ranty, the distinction is that Ranty. The Ranty.
Jose's just mad because I told him I cussed at him and he kicked me off his show.
I'm going to bloody soon as well.
You notice his show has gone way downhill.
Ranty made measurements.
Hi, Jose JG. You're a sweetheart.
So Ranty made measurements. He measured how far away things were. He determined the distances between, and you made no effort to do that. So how can we have any confidence, or how can we have any assurance that what you're doing is in any way comparable to the image that Ranty was analyzing?
What would happen in Ranty's picture if the observer moved several miles further away but stayed at the same elevation? What would happen?
The tower would appear even taller than the.
No. How could it appear? How could it appear taller if you're moving away from it?
Because there's more curve now. Because the mountains are further away.
If there was more curve, it would have to appear lower. He's just said it had to appear higher.
The mountains appear lower.
Tower appears higher.
No, the tower wouldn't appear higher.
Very simple, Gary.
No, actually, in Ranty's video, if he moved away from the tower would be lower than the mountains in the background.
You're making an assertion with absolutely
well, and this is what my video is demonstrating.
Yeah,
what I'm
your
saying is actually correct. So right here, you're actually closer to the trees. The trees are above the mountains, and you're closer, right?
Gary,
are those trees higher than the hills, Tony? In this picture right here that's on screen, are those trees now looking like they're above the hills in the background?
They appear higher than
why is the grass higher than the crop?
When I first started, which I was farther away when I first started, right, and those trees were below the tops of the mountains, which was farther away, which should, if anything, add more curve.
So, Gary, you understand that just because perspective is important in one series of image analysis, it does not mean that it is equally important in all.
Every image, everything you look at is perspective. Everything, all the time, everywhere.
So you're ignoring the fact that Ranty actually did calculate the influence of perspective on that image.
It doesn't matter. According to their video, those mountains should not appear below the towers because the mountains are taller than the towers. That was their whole premise.
I corrected you on this already, Gary.
Gary,
you didn't correct me on it.
Yes, that's why the distances to the mountains are important, Gary.
Okay, then why did these trees, which are taller than me, I was in my pickup filming this, they're much taller than me, right? Why, when I was further away, did they appear below the mountains, and when I'm closer, they appear above?
Because the relative distance between you and the mountains and you and the trees is very different than was the case in Ranty's video between the tower and the
It's the same thing. It's all
You
perspective.
can't say no. You don't have measurements.
It doesn't matter. It has perspective.
No, hang on. You can't. No. Sorry, Gary. You did this the last time.
Yes.
You can't say that the measurements are wrong, and then say the measurements don't matter.
Well, Ranty knows what I'm talking about, and ask Ranty.
Yes, he does, and he disagrees with you.
Well, he lives right there. He's very close to this place, Blackpool Tower.
And he still disagrees with you.
And have him take his camera then. He's got one that he begged for when he was a flat earther. Have him go and stay at the same elevation, move several miles further away. And
Why?
ask him
He's already done the job.
No, he hasn't done that.
He hasn't done your video, but your video doesn't show anything.
No. All he has to do is take his camera, move several miles further away from the tower.
And
stay
he's
at the
already
same elevation. And what will no, it isn't proof because it was simple perspective. No, it isn't.
So
what would happen
Gary,
if he moved? If Ranty took that picture from several miles further away, the tower would be below the tops of the mountains, which shouldn't happen if the Earth is a ball. If anything, it should add more curvature.
So Gary, you're making a positive claim. You need to prove it by going.
I just did. I made this video. You're gonna say go to Blackpool Tower and take a video.
Yeah,
you guys are
that
stupid.
would be good. But the very first observation.
Ranty, he lives right there. He could settle this. He's already made a video. He's already made several videos with me in it. He mentioned me.
Please,
ask him to go there. Ranty's got the camera.
Gary, please try and stop cutting me off.
Well, you guys are cutting me off too. It goes both ways.
False.
I don't care what you say.
No,
it's not
not at
false.
all.
You just jumped in, Dave. So now you're interrupting too.
You're doing it again. Like I've even lost my thread of thought now. Like your claim is like, oh, this is going to happen, that is going to happen. The fact is, Ranty's photo is impossible to take if the Earth was flat. That's the whole point of it. When you change location, you're changing location. That's you're changing the goalposts. The goal is that photo is impossible on a flat Earth.
Because he said the mountains in the background were taller than the tower, so they should always be seen above the tower. That's what he said, because he doesn't understand perspective.
But it's not just what Ranty says.
That is,
it's
well, they all said it,
the globe model predicts. So what people are asking for, it's not just what Ranty says. It's not just what us YouTubers say. It's literally what the model that we all represent says. So someone has to prove otherwise, and no one ever has. And that's
I just did in this video, but you're just denying it.
Can I just add to that?
Okay, are these trees? Those two trees?
2 seconds.
You see them right there. Let me get this point. Are those hills taller than the trees in this picture? Are those trees taller than the picture? Than the mountains in the background in this picture?
Yes.
Okay, are those mountains in reality taller than those trees?
No idea. What height are they?
They're 3,000 to 4,000 feet.
Okay. How far away are they?
They're about 35 miles away, 35, 40.
So
the ones behind there are probably about 40 miles away.
What's our margin of error here?
It doesn't matter. Just pick 3,000 if that makes you happy.
You don't understand how maths work then.
Pick 3,000 if that makes you happy. Pick 4,000.
No, what's the margin of error? No,
the ones in the background right now are higher than the ones at the start, so we'll call them 4,000.
No, just we'll call them doesn't work. What height are they? Not what height are you saying they are.
It doesn't even matter. They're higher than Ranty's little dinky hills by quite a bit.
Okay.
Okay. So what we have here is just simple angles. The trees are taller than me. They're between me and the hills that are much further away.
Which angle?
Which is the same thing that happened in Ranty's video.
Which angles?
Doesn't matter. It's just the angle from your eye.
You keep doing that. You say it's just
angle
angles.
from my camera to the trees, my angle from my eye, from my camera to the hills.
What
from
angle?
The point where I'm at. I don't know. I didn't measure the angle. It doesn't matter.
Gary, can I ask a question? When you say that the elevation of the mountains is 3,000 to 4,000 feet, is that above sea level?
Yes.
Okay. What is your altitude above sea level?
Oh, my elevation. My elevation down here where I'm at is about 115 feet.
Okay.
Gary,
we're in a flat valley. It's almost the same everywhere. It varies by about 10, 15 feet. Maybe.
Question from Frank in the chat. Ask Gary what state this is
It's in
in.
California.
I'll
I
look at
see his
the
comment. I see it. It's on screen.
California,
Central Valley,
Central Valley, California.
So,
near
Gary,
Fresno.
Gary, are you the greatest intellect on the face of the planet?
Did I claim that?
Well, what you seem to be
Are
claiming.
you? PhD
No,
Tony, are you?
No, I'm
Okay,
I'm nowhere
so
near
that
it.
makes us even, right?
Okay, so if somebody who is smarter and is better informed comes up and tells you something, are you going to listen to them?
I have many times.
But you're making a habit of not doing it now.
Because you're not being smarter than me on this. I'm pointing it
not
out your
necessarily.
errors. Yes, necessarily.
You're
Who is
babbling
smarter than you, Gary?
incoherently.
Okay, so if I,
Who would you
PhD
class
Tony,
as
let me ask you a
smarter than you?
question. On these trees, you saw them before, right? At the
Yeah.
beginning. And they were what? Below the tops of the mountains?
Yes.
Different mountains.
Okay,
They
so I
were-
was further away. What would happen to those trees? Would they lower or rise on my horizon by moving away from them?
But that
my
doesn't
angle
matter.
would lower, wouldn't it?
So
Literally,
yes,
like
yeah.
your
But
observation has
it would also
nothing to
lower
do
for
with
the
you.
mountains, right? Because
So-
they're there too.
So you're
just having an observation
Can
due to
I?
perspective.
Can I?
Right,
Can
but
I
I've
say
got
something?
I've got him on a train of thought here.
Can I?
So
Can
the
I
trees-
say?
We'll let him carry on.
I wasn't finished, and you were going to answer my question. So those trees are lower the mountains at the beginning, right? The distance was further away, so that would make those trees lower on the field of view. It would also make the mountains lower on the field of view, and yet the mountains still appeared above the trees when I was at the start of this because I was further
Okay.
away. So did they come up over the curve, or was there no curve to begin with?
So
Did the trees lower way more than the mountains?
Why don't you just tell me when you're finished with your question?
I'm finished. You go ahead, Tony.
Okay. All right.
It's too much question.
The angle between your eye and the top of the tree is dependent on the height difference between your eye level and the height of the tree, and the distance between you and the tree. You understand that, right?
Yep.
Okay, the same is true of the mountains behind. It's the
Yep.
difference between the height of the mountain and your distance to the mountains. So as you move relative to them both, the question is which is changing faster? Which of these angles is changing more quickly? And that depends on the distance between you and the tree and the distance between you and the mountain.
That's right.
Let's assume that
you're on the right track.
Yes, but this proves that you're wrong
No, it doesn't.
in ignoring the numbers. You have to plug the numbers in for the distance between you to the trees and the distance between you to the mountains to determine whether or not is the difference in angle is sufficient to explain the effect. Now, Ranty did this for his image, and you have not done it for yours. Therefore, his result stands, and your result is at best a proof of concept. However, the concept that it proves, you are proving the perspective can result in this effect. However, Ranty, it will in appropriate circumstances. But Ranty proved that it cannot be responsible for the observation in the image that he analyzed. Now, if you want to prove that he's wrong, you need to prove his numbers are wrong. And you haven't done that. You haven't made any attempt to grapple with observational data. What you've done is you've produced a very interesting demonstration of how perspective works and how it can affect the relative apparent angular elevation of objects at different distances from you. But that does not in any way suggest that the numerical analysis undertaken by Ranty is invalid. Ranty considered this possibility. He included it in his analysis, and he concluded that it could not explain the height discrepancy that was observed.
And Ranty was wrong, and so was everybody else on that show. I simply demonstrated here. It's just a matter of perspective. You move further away, they drop lower. Because why? Because your angle is different. When something's closer to you, it changes quicker than the background. If Ranty would have moved further away, which everybody's denying that what I'm going to say is true, except for me, If you moved away, it would drop. The tower would have dropped below the heights of the mountains.
Gary,
Ranty already
did you-
incorporated all of this into his analysis.
And he hasn't taken the picture to show you what would happen if he moved further away. He knows what would
not
happen.
necessary.
No, it is necessary because
No.
it's all
Nobody's being
perspective. Oh, this is so
Nobody's
simple
being
stuff.
that sort of
I have a
hiding
plum
like
tree
that.
I'm looking at. It's about 15 feet high. I got a way bigger tree that's about 50 more feet away, but I can only see the top part of that tree. Why? Because the plum tree is blocking most of my view because of the angle, right?
Gary, did you not listen to Tony at all?
Yeah, I know what Tony said. He was completely
But
wrong.
you seem to be pretending like you don't then, because
Because he's completely wrong. What do you want me to say?
No. Okay, if you think he's wrong, that's fine. Explain why he's wrong, but don't just pretend like you
Okay,
didn't hear anything he said.
for the 20th let it get to your head, because the tower in Ranty's picture was much higher than the person who took the picture. It wasn't Ranty. Ranty took it off Facebook or something.
And
Okay, so and the little hills were way further. You know, it's like the cow. You've heard that. The father
they were further away.
Yeah.
And
Okay, so your angle, because you're closer to the tower, which is way higher than you, your angle would be upward at a higher rate than the mountains or the hills in the background in Ranty's picture, just like mine was.
So I have to ask again: did you not hear anything Tony said?
Yeah, he was all wrong, so I don't need to.
What? No. Yeah, okay. So why
They
was
said
he wrong?
Ranty took all kinds of measurements, but Ranty didn't take a picture
Now
from
we're
several
discussing why
miles
Tony was
further
wrong,
away.
remember?
Yeah, I don't care what Tony said because Tony was wrong about everything.
So yes.
I'm talking with you. I'm talking
with
with
you.
you.
Stupidity.
What
Dave,
did
I'm
he
talking
say
with
that
you.
was wrong specifically?
I don't care. I was not even paying that much attention to him. He rambles on. I have my thing here
This
where
is
you
why you don't
obviously
know
see
anything.
you obviously seen the trees and the mountains and the relationship to them in the background changed by moving away or moving closer, and it went from
Guys.
them being below the tops of the mountains to above the
yeah.
tops of the mountains.
And
Which
Tony
is exactly what
wasted-
would happen in
looks like
Ranty's.
wasted
Which
his time
is
explaining it
exactly
to
what
you.
would happen in Ranty's
No,
video or picture
Gary,
if he
Gary,
moved further away. It's
Gary,
simple
keep asking
perspective.
us- Gary, you asked
Sorry,
the
everybody.
question.
Sorry, Dave, mate. I'm gonna have to end the stream pretty soon. What I want to add to this is this could well be taken over to our new debate channel that me and Deadly Dave have, known as Truth Debates. There's 69 people in this chat, and I guarantee at least 20 of those people have never even heard of Truth Debates. So please, it's going to be a new debate channel that me and Dave are setting up. And yeah, I think we should carry this on further. If Gary Wybenga wants to, and if anyone would like to
I have no problem.
step into the lion's den,
Links in the chat there.
or the mole's mound, whichever way you want to look at it. But no, thanks Gary for coming along. What I'm going to do is just do like a quick round everyone to say like a quick goodbye. It is 3 a.m. for me, guys. So I'm just gonna have to hit the sack. I've got to get up for work at like 7:30. So it's going to be only a few hours. I'm going to go downwards. Dave, sorry, mate. Can I cancel that out?
Oh yeah, sure. Sorry, I can
sorry.
stop here. There you go.
Sorry, thank you, mate. Gary, last words.
You saw my video. You saw the trees above the mountains when it was close, below the mountains when I was further away. It was only maybe a mile drive that I changed distance on. My elevation stayed the same the whole time. The same thing would happen in Ranty's video if he simply moved a mile, probably wouldn't even take a mile. Moved a mile further away, took the picture, the mountains would appear higher than the tower in the background because that's how perspective works. That's it.
Cool. Would you be willing to come along and maybe debate PhD Tony if he's willing? I'm not putting words into his mouth. I'll leave that up to him. Or maybe someone else. I think that'll be quite a good debate. You're a little bit of a. What I've realised is people want names, and you're a little bit of a name in the flat Earth community, and I love the fact that you're kind of stepping up and talking to people. I know you have a few times, and I know people. Although what you say to most of them is delirious, but it is fun delirious. So thank you very much.
Hell, I think you guys are delirious. So
Yeah. Well, as long as we can agree to disagree.
goes both ways.
Oh, yeah.
Copyright.
The channel's called Truth Debates, by the way. So yeah, if anyone can
I'm
share a little link.
I'm on the side of the truth, and you guys will be on the side of the error.
Believe what you want, mate. PhD Tony.
I have a short question I hope for Gary. When was the last time you actually learnt something from somebody else educating you?
I watch your guys' channels. That's how I learn all this stuff. I can easily debunk a lot of your stuff. Do I know every subject? No, I'm sorry, Tony. I don't. I haven't been in your business of whatever you do for all my life. Okay, but I know enough about these perspective things to show that it all works on a flat Earth easily. Well, you can shake your head all you want. I see you shaking your head. You are in the picture.
That doesn't answer the question. When was the last time you learnt something because somebody else educated you?
How about I'll give Tommy Gronvold a little credit. How about that? You guys know Tommy Gronvold.
Yes,
I used to argue that eye level and the horizon were exactly the same. Now I don't. But at the same time, essentially they are, because the eye level and the horizon are at the vanishing point. They're virtually side by side. Oh, you're interrupting me. They're virtually side by side. Okay, your turn.
So you didn't really learn anything.
No, I learned that eye level and the horizon are not exactly the same, but essentially they are the same because they're right next to each other. You can't even discern the difference.
Should we say this?
Don't start the debate up again.
That wasn't my intent. I just had a simple question.
I have a video on it.
Like sort of time debate. I think that'd be really fun actually to be able to just say, 3 minutes, nobody else can interrupt. 3 minutes, nobody else can interrupt, and really have a nice back and forth without this more casual. It's very hard to try and moderate, obviously, because we're just having a live stream. But also, I don't want it to be like da 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 da, and no one listening can hear a word that anyone's saying. We've got to try and have conversation that people listening can actually listen to. If you're in a debate situation, you're expecting it as well, and it just depends on how it's formed as such. But guys, thank you so much. Angel Gamer, thank you for jumping on. That was quite cool of you for jumping on. It was really nice.
Yeah, I just wanted to say a few things about some of the stuff that Gary was saying that I didn't like and didn't agree with, but I'm not really in on this debate. But
it's hard for, obviously, once you got sort of 3, 4, 5 people all trying to get in words, especially not being funny, Gary, when even 1 against 4, look, mate, you held your own. You still got probably in as many words as all of us lot put together. So I was trying my best to not let that happen. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm joking, but that literally is what it's like trying to speak to you, mate. And I wish you'd actually try and listen to what people actually are saying to you, because we're not evil. We don't work for the devil. We're just normal people, here for a chat, here for a conversation.
Yeah, and I am a Christian, Gary, and it does bother me when you call us fake Christians, and I don't think that's fair, and we can talk about that another time.
Yeah, definitely. And you're all welcome on. Deadly Dave.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I genuinely don't. I don't know how to deal with being told the angles of this or the angles of that or the size of this or the size of that. And when I ask what are the angles or what's the size, being told it doesn't matter. I just don't know where to put that. Like, I mean, just what even category, what shelf do you put that on? Who knows?
Yeah, the angles that you're telling me, they definitely don't work. What angles have you got? Doesn't matter. I know what you mean. But Gary, mate, I honestly, big respect. big respect for actually pressing join. Is it for attention? I don't know. Is it through belief? I do believe so, especially with obviously your Christian beliefs with that. But I honestly think you're even misinterpreting Christianity if you think it's about flat Earth. Because
Are you a Christian?
no, I'm not, mate. But
Well,
I
then
know
you
that
don't know what Christianity is,
isn't
so you
flat
don't
Earth.
have any judgment on that. You
But
haven't read
I
the
Oh, I
Bible,
do.
you
say
said
that.
earlier. You don't have any judgment on that either.
I say that I am actually christened I am actually christened a
Okay,
Christian.
but you don't claim to
But
be
I
a
don't
Christian, and you said you
practice.
never read the Bible, right? Okay, so
Yeah, I've never
you
read the
can't.
Bible,
Okay, so you
but
really don't know.
I also
You just
know. No,
it's just your opinion.
I've read the
Okay,
passages,
so
Just
can
and
I?
yeah,
opinion.
I've read the bunks. But anyway,
So
we do really, we do
I
really
need to
need
make
to
one point. Gary just asserted
always.
that your opinion doesn't count because you don't know what you're talking about. But when he talks about seismology or gravimetry
Yeah,
or any
doesn't matter.
or
Yeah.
any scientific field whatsoever, it doesn't matter that he is completely
Yeah,
unqualified. His opinion is
I didn't really
gospel,
give. I didn't
and
really
the
give an
and the
opinion, if you remember.
and the idiotic hypocrisy of that position should be apparent to everybody in the chat.
yeah. That's a very good point, PhD Tony. That's why I love actually having other people here sometimes when other people notice something that I didn't. So I think we'll end it there. Actually, that little pointer out. It's a very good little note to end on. Thank you very much, everybody. Stay safe. You're all welcome again. Keep it global.